what the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV.
SPTV is what Scientology is so afraid of. Here we are. We are all filming from remote locations. This is wild.
Amy's not in the chat, by the way, just so you know.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, to you. I thought it was in one of the descriptions. I took it out of mine, but
did I in one of the descriptions for the
yeah, that's fine. I edited it. But
we're all Claire's here. Not in it either.
Yeah, Claire's not here because we're not gonna talk about any we wouldn't be able to talk about the case, and that's the big news today. So
exactly. So I'm gonna change the title so I'm not catfishing people.
Catfishing.
I'll tell you what, Mark, do you want to be the person who stars the supers and the questions?
Absolutely. I'm all over it.
Okay.
I've already started some already.
Fantastic. Okay, so guys, let me give you real quick the highlights from the day. First of all, opening statements finished by the prosecution and the defense with about 20 minutes left in court, and then Jane Doe 3. It's weird. In court, they are allowed to identify the women first name, last initial, except one of the Jane Does is first initial, last name. But I think just out of good form, we still call them Jane Doe 1, 2, and 3, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
We do.
So Jane Doe 3 was up first. And actually, there was a whole thing. Actually, I didn't even say this on the update that I just did. At the end of the court, so with 5 minutes left to go with court, 5 minutes of court left to go, judge dismissed all the jurors and everybody. And Sean Hawley was trying to get it postponed again because the prosecution has changed the sequence of the people testifying. And and this was said in open court, so I can say it. They said Claire is testifying much earlier in the case than Sean Hawley thought. And Sean Hawley actually said something. This is breaking news, everybody. Sean Hawley will be the one cross-examining Claire. She will be the one cross-examining Jane Doe 3. And she will be cross-examining Dr. Ziv, the expert witness about, I think Dr. Ziv is the one who's testifying about how victims of trauma of this nature can act in non-intuitive ways after the trauma. Right. They had said earlier,
especially if they're Scientologists.
Yes, they had said earlier that Cohen would be handling the cross-examination of the Jane Does. So that's a change. Okay, first thing that happened when court even before court started, I was on the 9th floor, ready for everything to begin. Leah arrived. I went in to go give her a hug. This tall, strange guy walked up and said, "You've been served," and threw an envelope at her.
What?
Yes. And she's like, I didn't touch it. And Leah had an attorney with her, and she had a bodyguard with her, and she had another friend with her. And everyone's like, don't touch the envelope. Nobody touched the envelope. And then one guy's like, well, technically, I can just pick it up and throw it in the trash because I got nothing to do with it. It's just an envelope lying on the floor. And so anyway, Sean Hawley was serving Leah with papers that would prevent her from being in the courtroom for opening statements, amongst other things. So anyway, the attorney took it right to the court, got it quashed right away. And so Leah went into the courtroom as expected. And then before the proceedings even started, Sean Hawley got up to argue to the judge why Leah Remini should have to leave and why the Jane Doe's personal attorneys should have to leave. So right away, it got started on the wrong foot, and the judge was not having it, not interested, didn't appreciate the time-wasting arguments they were making. So anyway, it was exciting right from the get-go. Okay. And then, okay, so yeah, Leah got kicked out. Sean Hawley tried to get the Jane Doe's lawyers. Yep.
Well, she didn't get kicked out.
She didn't. She stayed for the whole thing. Okay. Philip Cohen tried to get the judge to rule that the Jane Does can only be referred to as accusers and not as victims. The judge told him to stick it up his ass. So I got to tell you, one of the
I imagine she didn't use quite that language.
Oh, it was only slightly nicer. It was only slightly nicer. Let me tell you how much friction there was here. During Cohen's opening statement, there were 16 sustained objections. On the prosecution's opening statement, just one. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
And how many times did the defense object in Cohen's opening? I
Just
mean,
once.
in Mueller's opening, they only
Just once.
objected once, and it was sustained.
Yes.
But Mueller objected 16 times, and they were
16
more.
sustained objections. There was about 5 more that were overruled. Now, at one point, the judge dismissed the jury and actually did tell Mueller, because Mueller kept saying objection, argumentative. And also Mueller, the Cohen kept quoting the testimony in the previous trial in his opening statement, and the judge had to tell him over and over again, stop quoting the previous testimony. Previous testimony is not evidence. Like, you don't even know that's how these people are going to testify in this trial. It's not evidence. And then okay. So she dismissed the jury, and she said to Mueller, she goes, now listen, your opening statement was quite argumentative as well, but Cohen didn't object, and I didn't intervene to object for him. Okay. So technically your objections are valid, and I will sustain them. But just realize he could have objected this much as well and didn't. And even after this admonishment, there was probably 6 more sustained objections. Like, it was kind of exciting. If it didn't last for 7 hours, it would have been more exciting. But, okay, so let's see. There was some other stuff here. Oh my God, you guys. The prosecution had this fantastic slide deck that is up, a real, like, chronological, like a timeline, and it shows you everyone's involved and everything. They had photos of every Sea Org member named and involved in this case. Miranda Scoggins, Chris Scoggins, and Julian Schwartz. I don't know where they found a photo of Julian Schwartz.
Wow.
It's not even a photo of him in uniform. It looks like he's like on his day off or something. Wow. And it looks like, Julian's about my age. Mark, how old are you? How old are you, Mark?
50.
You're almost 50. Okay, so 49. You're 49. I'm 42. So Julian's probably closer to my age.
Okay.
This looked like a relatively recent photo. So anyway, that was just kind of exciting because it really put a face on it.
Yeah.
Also, in the slide deck was excerpts of the reports that I've been hoping we were going to be able to see. Like, close up, zoomed in excerpts. Like, you could read the paragraphs in the report. I'm thinking there's no way they can put that kind of stuff in the slide deck if it's not going to be introduced as evidence. Does that seem like a reasonable?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is being introduced. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's see. Then there was the photos, the photo of the Scientology report. It doesn't, Jane Doe 4, Trish Vesey. Well, we call her Jane Doe 4, but she has, identified herself as Trish Vesey. She had done an interview with Tony Ortega before. She wasn't mentioned at all in the opening statements. It looks like she may not be testifying. It looks that way because she wasn't mentioned. Let's see. And guys, here's something that kind of came up. The Canadian victim, her name's Kathleen from Canada. She and her ex-husband are flying down to testify as witnesses in this case. There's an open investigation into Dana Masterson in Vancouver or in Toronto. Actually, I think she went to the Toronto police, I believe. Dana Masterson could stand trial in Canada. You don't hear that happen. I mean, is it maybe just the media bias of what they tell, of what kind of stories they highlight? I can't think of many examples of hearing in the press of Americans being, extradited to Canada for trial. Is there some reason that wouldn't occur?
I think you just don't go.
I don't know the answer to that, Aaron. That's a real lawyer question.
Yeah.
I think that if you are charged with that sort of a crime, they probably would seek extradition.
Wow.
Yeah. And that happens through official channels. It goes through the Department of State, and it's like a big thing. But if someone is accused of a violent sex crime, then that is probably worth their effort to go through an extradition proceeding if the person won't voluntarily show up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Do we want to circle back on that report thing in case anybody who's watching doesn't understand that the reports that Aaron is talking about that they're excerpting are reports that were written by either the Jane Does or people somehow connected to the Jane Does on what happened at the time these incidents occurred. Within Scientology, when something bad happens and it involves Scientologists, they write reports on each other. So if this happened and the Jane Does or somebody that was related to the Jane Does or connected to them in some way would write these reports, pretty much anybody involved in the reports would get pulled in, and they would interrogate them and ask them what happened. These reports, when these reports get written, there's people that are CC'd on the reports. So they kind of just get sprayed out to all over the organization when this happens. Like RTC would have copies, Celebrity Center would have copies, wherever any of the people on the reports that are being written on, wherever they're taking services, that organization, the hierarchy of that organization would be CC'd on it. So the fact that Aaron is saying that they're excerpting these reports, this is huge. To me, this is huge, because that means you're basically going to have the first person account or the initial report of what happened right around when it happened, at least within, I want to say days or weeks, probably.
Yeah, it's not common for there to be collateral evidence in rape cases. Typically, there's no other evidence than the testimony of the victim. And maybe there was someone else who had some sort of information about the person who was being accused of the rape, character style. But you just don't, this is not a crime that occurs usually in public where it is witnessed by anybody else. And usually people aren't writing reports about what happened.
Yeah.
And they're not being pulled in by the chaplain and the ethics officer and the auditor and the CS. By the way, was Angie Leclerc's photo up on the board, Aaron?
Her name was never mentioned.
Angie Leclerc has literally vanished from the face of the earth since the Denny Masterson case became a real thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's probably for
those who don't know, Angie Leclerc was the senior case supervisor at Celebrity Center who oversaw all of the auditing, saw all of the reports, and was an integral part of whatever happened at any time at Celebrity Center, which was important.
Yeah, you know what I want to say, though, also, Angie knew one of the Jane Does very, very well as well.
Did they go to school together?
Yeah, we all did.
Yep.
Right.
So that's also kind of weird that Angie, she's connected to both people in a weird kind of way.
The fact that Scientology will literally ship witnesses out of the country is something. I just wish there's something the authorities could. I mean, it doesn't get more obstruction of justice than that. I mean, I'm sure there's other egregious examples of obstruction of justice, but it's just so obvious. It just seems like they're just flaunting it in the face of the authorities. Like, what are you going to do? I dare you to do anything about it. Is there really nothing? Is there really nothing that can be done?
You have to.
It can be taken up in the civil case for sure, because there is a lot more leeway. There is discovery that happens in a civil case. It does not happen in a criminal case. You don't get to depose people and ask them, the people that are around, you can ask them, so where did Angie Leclerc go? I don't know. Has anybody seen Angie Leclerc? Does anybody know where Angie Leclerc is? I mean, and, when you get, who knows what's really going to happen, but it's something that I think will get a lot more airtime and a lot more play and coverage in a civil case than it will in the criminal case, because there are a lot more restrictions on what you can do and what you can say and what inferences can be drawn from things in criminal law than there is in civil law.
Interesting.
Before I forget, Aaron, tonight we have for giveaways. We have giveaways. It's Monday, guys.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yes. So what are we giving away, and when are we doing it?
We have a bobblehead. We have an SP bracelet. We have a Xenu outfit for a bobblehead.
Oh, wow.
And we have one slightly scuffed copy of Mike's book signed. That's what we have. That's what
slightly scuffed.
It was slightly jostled heavily in shipping. It's
when I was sending
readable.
Them out to you guys, I got it.
It's perfectly readable. It just
that's
the outside of it is just very aggressively handled mid transition.
Yeah.
Speaking of people being on the run from subpoenas, I had speculated, and I'm going to correct something I said earlier in the week. One of the things that Tony Ortega had kind of broken the news or rebroken the news that the grand jury that is investigating Scientology and Danny Masterson regarding obstruction of justice is still ongoing. And remember, Lisa Marie Presley had specifically named David Miscavige as the person she reported back to after she attempted to obstruct justice. And so I speculated, oh my God, is Miscavige literally dodging a grand jury subpoena? And somebody pointed out to me, if they're looking to indict Miscavige, they're not going to subpoena Miscavige. That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to, because I'd sort of floated it out there that maybe I was like, because it sounds a lot sexier to be dodging a grand jury subpoena than it does to be dodging service in a civil suit.
Yeah. Exactly.
And someone just pointed out, they're not asking to talk to him. They're asking to talk to his buddies.
He's going to be the last. He's going to be the last one they talk to.
Right.
After they talk to everybody else.
Okay, so based on the number of things we're giving away, are we doing it every 15 or every 20, or what are we doing?
Whatever you want. How long do you think this show's going to go? You got much else?
Oh, that's right. Every 30. Okay, so guys, in 13 minutes, we're doing our first giveaway. So stay in the chat. And
perfect. Before I forget, because I got one more thing, which is I am like a stone's throw away from 29,000 right now, subscribers.
Nice.
Okay. I actually had a counter up, but I blew it away to show you that photo that I gave you a little sneak peek of. But if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscriber. YouTube tells me that there's about 53% of you guys that are watching these videos that aren't subscribed. We have somebody. You want me to show that photo?
Well, wait, I want to put in a plug for subscribing to my channel too.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of people. Someone was just in the comments saying, "Oh, I just realized I never subscribed to Mike's channel."
Okay,
hit
Mike, hit them all.
Hit me up too.
Perfect. Now we have some SPTV viewers that are a little overzealous, or just very zealous, I guess you can say.
It's just the right amount of zealous.
Just the right amount. But
exactly.
I can't really speak onto this because I do have a tattoo of something that I'm very fond of. But this person went out and got a tit. I think this was yesterday or the day before. This happened. Okay, folks, somebody put this ink on their body. Okay, this is an SPTV tattoo. Okay, now I hate to break it to whoever this is, but we just changed the name of the network, so you're gonna have to get another one on the other side. No, we didn't. We didn't really, but this is amazing. I like so that good. One. I like it. It's just it's a lot.
It's so good. I even have a little video. They sent a little video as well
of it getting done.
Yeah.
Oh my!
But the tattoo artist wasn't very excited about being videoed, so the video is like a few seconds long.
Okay.
But still,
is so amazing.
It's pretty badass. And I got to tell you, I'm a sissy when it comes to the pain and the needles and everything, and I also don't love the idea of permanently putting something on my body. But I might be convinced to do it if it's small.
Yeah, do another one.
I don't have one. That's not mine. I might be convinced to get one.
You could put it on your finger, and then when you just, when you put your finger up, there's a little SPTV on it.
There you go. There you go.
I'm not sure how the algorithm's going to deal with that, but
I think you got some big advertising space. like
Right here?
right here.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a lot of forehead to wash up there. You can
Yes, yes, yes.
wow.
Okay, so 10 minutes until our first giveaway. Let's start tackling some questions. How about it?
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
I've started them up
Okay.
for you. Oh, we're
Okay,
already
so
up to 3,000 concurrent chats too.
hey, 3,500. Was it 3,400 or 3,500? That was our record. I forget.
It was
35.
35.
Okay, we got to break 35.
Yeah.
Okay, so Joe Trapp wants to know, do body thetans attach themselves to the next poor sap? If so, wouldn't this just be dumping problems on others and not saving the universe? It's a great question, but go ahead.
Okay. The answer to this is when, and this is the theory, when the BT blows, when you get rid of a BT, you have cleared them. And they are no longer body thetans, which are lesser thetans that are incapable of existing by themselves and have to attach to a bigger thetan. So no, they're not going to go off and attach themselves to someone else. They're going to go off and find their own body.
Okay, so it's not like kicking the can down the road. They sort of float off into the ether and they're good now. They're free.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
theory. With one question, they become clear. Who are you?
Amazing. You know what? We should just walk up to Scientologists and just say that. Who are you?
Who are you?
If you can clear a BT with that question, you should be able to clear a real Thetan with that question. And if I was OT5 or OT7 or OT8, I'd probably start wondering why we're still having to do hundreds of hours of new era Dianetics instead of just asking, who are you? There ought to be an investigation. Okay, the Duchess of Chug says, this is a great question. What is the difference between a squirrel and an SP? And did I just hear there was more than one kind of SP? By the way, hello to all the squirrels and SP out there and SPs out there, and hello to OSA. Mike, what's the difference?
Really, there isn't. You can be an SP without being a squirrel, but you can't be a squirrel without being an SP.
That's what I was going to say too. All squirrels are SPs. Not all SPs are squirrels. A squirrel means altering Scientology, doing something different than what you're actually supposed to do, or it means delivering Scientology outside of the official Church of Scientology.
Right.
And both of which will get you declared an SP. But you can be an SP for talking to your grandma that you're not supposed to talk to, and that's got nothing to do with squirreling.
Right. Or be a reporter.
Exactly.
Writing stories.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah.
like our wonderful investigative reporter at the Tampa Bay Times.
Exactly.
Or you could be a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Or you could be any of Tom Cruise.
agent.
Yeah. Or any of Tom Cruise's ex-wives.
Or other kids.
Yep.
Have you ever seen an SP? I was married to 3 of them.
Yeah, and he audited one too.
Yep.
And he audited one. Okay.
So funny. The one guy who says, have you ever met an SP? He's met tons of them. He's making them on a full-time basis.
Apollonia. Is it Apollonia or Apollonia?
Apollonia Paradise.
Apollonia Paradise.
Apollonia.
The prosecutor's opening statement reads like a horror story. What a terrifying, twisted place Scientology is. Oh, yeah. I just realized everyone's already could have read it on Tony's blog.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, boy.
What about the whiteboard? You didn't mention the whiteboard that was in there.
It was so there was just a big whiteboard, and during the defense's part of his opening statement, he put up these big giant photos of Jane Doe 1 in a bikini, being like, "Look, you can't see any bruises." And then he thought the better of it, and he stuck an easel right in front of Leah Remini's face because she was sitting in the front row of the jury, not the jury, the gallery. And he stuck the easel, and he walked over to his whiteboard, and he took the giant photos off the whiteboard, and he put it right on the easel in front of Leah's face, so the jury couldn't see her. And that was I mean, really, after trying to get her kicked out, it's like, well, here's a freaking board in front of your face. Okay, so let's see.
Really do not like Leah.
They do not like Leah.
It is really intimidating them.
Yeah, for sure. She's not going to be there every day. She may not be able to be there tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, Krista Chalu. Regarding the Nation of Islam, would it be possible that David Miscavige is modifying certain aspects of OT3 and up to make it more palatable for Tony Muhammad and others? It seems hard for traditional Islam to be cool with that otherwise.
No, but Nation of Islam is not traditional Islam, just
That's right.
for one. And two, there is no way that he is going to alter Scientology. He believes that he is going to take all of those people from the Nation of Islam and make them Scientologists. And they will no longer be part of Nation of Islam. That's what he believes. That's the only thing that can be happening.
Yeah,
It's gonna
absolutely.
end badly.
And you know, on one of my streams, I brought up a comment, and I guess I want to correct it. So you get conflicting statements on whether an honest to God Muslim would consider the Nation of Islam or members of the NOI to be Muslim, and the answer is no. And here's why: a Muslim believes that the Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet. And the fact that the Nation of Islam people believe that, wait, did I say, am I getting it wrong? Did I say the Prophet Muhammad?
You're right.
The Nation of Islam has another dude who is the honorable, whatever the heck his name is.
Yeah.
Who's
I can't remember his name.
And that basically
Elijah Muhammad, right?
Elijah, but they all had, their last names are all Muhammad, isn't it?
Yeah, Elijah something or other. Anyway, he was basically the founder of the NOI and considered himself a prophet. And the Nation of Islam consider him a prophet.
And the fact that they consider there's another prophet after Muhammad sort of disqualifies them as Muslims, is my understanding. So anyway,
but that and other things.
Yeah, that
lots of other things.
That is it. Louis Farrakhan. He was abducted. He says he was abducted, Aaron,
by aliens.
Yeah, and they brought him to the mother wheel. That's the ship that's floating over the earth that's going to pick all these guys up when the time is right.
Do you want to know what I find? I'll use the word funny. Nation of Islam has more members than Scientology.
I know. That's true.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And you know another thing, Aaron, I figured it out. I did the math. If you say Scientology had 100,000 members in 1980, and that's pretty much when L. Ron Hubbard kind of stopped being really involved. It was kind of moved off into the hiding place for the last 5 or 6 years. If they had 100,000 people in 1980, and you pick one figure, which Scientology believes that 2.5% of everyone are SPs. Everybody, 2.5%, they're all SPs. That's what L. Ron Hubbard said. If you take 100K and you just take 2.5% off every year, you get to right where they're at right now. Just every year, you just take off 2.5% from 100K. You come up with right around now. I did a whole spreadsheet. I did a whole Google sheet on it, figured it all out. They're right in between. I want to say it's like around just under 30K right now. That's where they're at. If you just take 2.5% off every year from 1980.
Interesting.
So I think that really is like our curve. That's I don't know what you call it. That's the SP curve. That's the SP curve for Scientology. 2.5% every year.
The attrition curve. So Mike, I listened to your guys' chat where you guys were talking about the NOI stuff, and someone asked you this question, and you made the point that first of all, there's no way they're making a special version of OT3 for Tony Muhammad, and that you said once Louis Farrakhan, I don't know how he wouldn't already know it, but once he realizes or figures out that Scientology is trying to just full on poach his members and convert them, and some shit is going to go down.
I know. It's not going to be pretty.
No,
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that he's the brightest bulb in the chandelier. I think I like David Miscavige, he's self-absorbed. He believes what his sycophants tell him. His sycophants are telling him, everything's going great. The Nation of Islam is doing wonderful. And so he doesn't pay much attention to this sort of stuff. But sooner or later, it's going to happen. And it's going to be catastrophic. And Mark is starring and I'm starring. I'll stop Mark because I'm unstarring what he stars, and then I try to star it again.
We're
and he
literally-
unstars it, and it's going off and on. That's what we're laughing about.
I know. I'm looking. I'm like, okay, who
What the-
keeps
Okay,
unstarring?
stop doing that.
I'm starring?
I'll stop. I'll leave it all to you, Mark.
He
I'll leave it
Guys,
all
we're
to
at
you.
30 minutes. It's time
Oh.
for our first giveaway.
Okay,
So-
who's doing it?
I'll
Well,
do
I
the
think-
first one.
Yeah,
oh,
I'll
Aaron,
give
yeah,
away-
you're first.
Yeah,
Mark is
I'll give-
last. I'll be in the middle.
well, you can also
Well,
give
there's
away.
going to be, we're going to get more than one. So we'll do. Okay. So
Well,
I'll
my-
do the first one.
Mike can do his book and
Yep.
the Xenu outfit for the bobblehead.
Okay, cool.
You do the bobblehead, and I'll do the SP bracelet.
So guys, this is how we're doing the giveaway. You got to the live chat. You got to burn up the live chat right now. I'm going to randomly select someone commenting in the live chat. I'm just going to click in 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm going to click. You got to put your comment down. Come on now. Here it goes. Here it comes. All right. Patty Gomez is the winner.
There you go,
Okay.
Patty Gomez.
So the question really is, without Claire, how do we do this?
They have
Oh,
to
just-
email Claire.
Yeah, they just email her.
Okay, all right.
And they just say, "Hey, I won, Patty Gomez." You can screenshot this if you want, Patty. Screenshot the
It'll be in
video.
the replay. Oh yeah, she can take a
Yeah.
screenshot. Yeah.
She can take
Okay.
a screenshot that says Patty, and yeah, you win, Patty. You want
We
your
also
SPTV, you get it.
Guys,
we also
we've
just
set.
clicked over 3,600.
We just did. Yeah, we're
36.
3606. We should get 3636 since we had 3535. But we're down to 3600 now all of a sudden.
Amazing.
Yeah, and
Amazing.
we got a lot of super chats and a lot of questions I've starred too. We're up to 50.
All right, we're gonna rock and roll. Tim Smith wants to know if some public PC in routine auditing came out with clear cognition or other random OT stuff, what would happen? Sec checks until the end of time? Would the auditor even notice? High fives? Instant PTS? I have an answer.
Go ahead, Aaron.
If you spit out the clear cognition, they're going to write it down. And then later on, when you're ready to start Dianetics, they'll do an interview. They'll find out what's going on. And they'll determine whether to give you Dianetics or whether to let you attest to clear. But in the normal course of auditing, it doesn't matter whether you're clear or not until you get to new era Dianetics, which is like almost halfway up the bridge as it is. Now, if you just started spitting out, well, there is no OT cognition stuff because it's just all about getting rid of BTs. But if you were in session and you started talking about BTs and stuff like that, you'd be getting sec checked pronto to find out what squirrel information you're reading on the internet, because you're not getting that information from anybody else. They're going to want to know, are you talking to who they're going to want to know, where did you get the information about BTs? And if you just said, oh, I remembered it from a past life, you're probably going to get 100 hours of sec checking until you stop saying that. So, okay, that's my answer on that one.
Good answer.
All right, Michelle Carpenter, Mark and Aaron, I emailed you guys a Keebler shoop if an AI generated image can be called a shoop. Uh-oh. Mark's got a rule against AI generated images. Mark, your mic is muted.
Sorry, I don't like the AI ones, and they're all portrait. So I just stop. If they say AI, or they're all the same too. They have this creepy look about them. AI David Miscavige is creepy, and I don't like it. And so I'm not looking at those anymore. If you're sending them to me, I'm probably not seeing them, because Claire filters a lot of what gets sent to me, and she knows I do not like seeing those. They creep me out.
Guys, I'm trying to find
that.
out what the best platform is to create AI generated images, because I want to be able to use them for my thumbnails. Like, show me an AI generated image of Danny Masterson being hauled away in handcuffs. I don't have any photos of that, but I'd like to have a thumbnail of something like that. So email me, or, show me a photo of Tom Cruise singing happy birthday to David Miscavige. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, they had that big birthday party for Tom. Has Tom ever come to a birthday party for Dave?
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's had birthday parties for Dave.
Yeah.
Just we weren't invited.
Yeah.
So,
That's not a Seor privy. All right, not privy to that interaction there.
There you go. Okay, Barb. Oh, Barb is back. So, lawyer person Holly is cross-examining Claire. Should we start planning for her funeral now? That is like bringing a crayon to a newsy fight. Oh, I don't even think I finished my story. Sean was complaining that she now doesn't have enough time to prepare for Claire. And the judge was like, sucks to be unprepared. Actually, what the judge said is, if you've I'm paraphrasing, if you feel like you didn't have an opportunity to do a good enough job the first time around, I'll make sure they're available so that you can call them back to the stand when you think you can do a better job. Is pretty much exactly what the judge said.
Wow.
Okay. So, yeah, man, she is no nonsense. Okay, Chi-Town native. Question. So, do you think the trial will be more intense with how today was and with those that showed up than the previous trial? He's going down. When you say more intense, I'm guessing the first trial was pretty intense. I don't have anything to compare it to. So, Chi-Town native, I'm guessing equally intense. Oh, the judge also said, I'm not doing any more sidebars. She said that. She said, we're not doing any more sidebars. So you're going to be reprimanded publicly. And I'll send the jury out every single time if I have to. And she said this. She said, and believe me, they're going to know exactly why they're being sent out. I was like, God damn, she takes no shit. That's what she said. And she said it almost like that too. Okay. PDD. Ooh. Help in keeping you in LA and reporting on the trial. Well, thank you, PDD. I like that screen name for some reason. I think that's a cool screen name. Okay, Michelle Carpenter says, Mike, thanks for retweeting my outing to the Kansas City Ideal Org with my bobblehead. My bobblehead you. Did you ever visit Kansas City back in the day, 10 or 20 years ago? The place I thought was Scientology looked more like a dirty bus stop. You ever been to KC?
I've driven through there once on my way to Colorado, but that was after I left the Sea Org. And I certainly didn't go by the org.
All righty. Lisa Robinson, Aaron needs to become the court reporter for SPTV. Well, that's what I am.
Yeah, he is.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's why he's there.
And
are there any other?
We are his evening panelists.
Yeah.
You know, like all of the talking head shows have panelists that appear that are experts on the subject.
That's right.
We're all experts on the subject of Scientology.
We're here to jog his memory. We talk about a few things. He remembers a little bit more. Then we talk about a few things. Then he remembers something else.
We're here to provide some talking headisms.
Exactly. Lathander Grauklinger, who, by the way, does officially have my favorite name of all of our comments.
Mine too. Well, actually, Japan of Green Gables was pretty damn good.
I learned the truth about Scientology when Ursula Caberta was doing her amazing work for the government here. I took part in many protests in front of the Hamburg org. Wow. After all these years, that work is still needed. Thank you all.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Well, that's amazing. That sort of dedication from... I assume that you were never a Scientologist because you don't say that you were, but you simply want to do something about the abuses. That's what's so remarkable about many of the people who watch our YouTube videos or comment on our blogs or reach out to us or reach out to the Aftermath Foundation. How many kind, decent, empathetic people there are who are out there who simply want to help stop the abuses. It's incredible.
Yeah, Japan of Green Gables is losing her mind right now. So just so you know.
Starstruck.
So shoot, I was just going to say something. Ursula Caberta is someone I would love to see be interviewed on one of our channels.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Mike, you probably know her, right?
Well, and so does Marc.
Yeah, I've been there twice.
Marc went to Germany.
I went on 2 different separate occasions. I went there and did like a conference that she put on for the different European governments, like their equivalency of like the FBI and the, I'm trying to think of what the other thing was. Oh,
I mean, she's like a hero. I mean, you've got Ursula, you've got Nick Xenophon, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And is there any other politician who's sort of taken up the cause that you could even think of?
Well, Gabe Cazares.
Of course. Well, he's dead.
Well,
I
yeah.
know.
I stopped. You're right. But yeah, that's actually a really good example. Yeah, and I bet. And also, I just love the German accent. I would just love to hear Ursula Caberta. Have Claire ask her if she wants to do an interview.
Yeah, she probably would do it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I see her. She comments on Facebook and stuff. Like she's
Oh, yeah.
around. She's
Oh
watching.
yeah.
She's still around. She does. I think she's retired, but she's still,
Yeah.
she's still doing stuff. She's still out and about.
Okay, Murway's asking, question, is the judge more informed regarding Scientology this time round? I'm trying to understand why she's more vocal this time round, retaking no crap. Well, remember, Scientology was pretty much kept out of the first trial. So it's not how educated the judge is. I get the impression she's educated on it. I mean, in the pre-trial hearings the first time, there was a lot of Scientology stuff going on when they were trying to, figure out whether they were going to have Scientology enter in or not. I guess what I'm saying here is there's really not much to compare it to. And I just think that, it's the second time around. So I don't think her not wanting to take crap has anything to do with how educated she is on Scientology. It's just like, let's just cut through the bullshit and get a good trial done here.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think she has been pretty tough since the first reporting I ever saw about how she was dealing with this case.
Yeah.
I don't think she's messed around ever and has been very forthright, very direct, very clear about what her intentions were. I think that why Scientology was not included in the first trial or was restricted and limited so much in the first trial was her feeling that was what the law required. I just don't think that she's being duped by anyone.
Yeah, I agree completely. Okay, Denia Lentz says, my first time able to catch a live and my first super chat. So much support to you guys. I've been following and reading on all of this for years. Fantastic. Welcome to your first live stream. That's why we keep doing them, man. You know, people are always on every stream. There's someone that's able to join for the first time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Michelle, now we're up to 3778.
Wow. We might even hit close. 4K.
I think we're going to hit 4K, guys. Michelle Carpenter, want a costume for my Mikey. Okay, creepy. Sorry. She must have made that super chat while we were doing the giveaway, I'm guessing.
Maybe. There was a bunch. There was a lot that came in from there.
Yeah. Dalton Carter says, just a couple of hotel homeboys.
Oh, well, it's more than a couple.
Yeah, it's all of us now.
It's three of us.
Okay, so OBG Foster says, hey, Aaron, were you wearing your black shirt in court? If not, maybe that's why that guy didn't recognize you. I was wearing the black shirt in court today. Okay. Oh, by the way, the courtroom is massive compared to what I was expecting when I heard it only holds 30 people. It's like a cavern. I mean, it's big. It's a real courtroom. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, Youth Canoe, which is always, this name cracks me up every time I see it. Do you think Laura Prepon is in support of Danny? I don't.
No idea. I doubt it.
Didn't she say she wasn't even a Scientologist recently?
Yeah,
she bugged out on the first trial. She was distancing.
Yeah.
She was trying to no, I don't think so.
I don't think that there are a lot of women who are fans of Danny Masterson.
No. I also suspect that any women that knew him might have known, knew him enough, might have known.
That's what I mean.
There was something going on over there that already wasn't cool.
Yeah, DJ Donkey Punch should have been a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, that was definitely not that didn't age well at all.
And every time he would do public interviews, like as a celebrity, talk show or whatever, he'd be talking about his balls or naked pictures of Ashton Kutcher. It's like, what's wrong with you, dude? Like, you're just a fucking weirdo. Okay, Cloud, I mean, even some of the photos that he tweets are obscene, like babies with massive schlongs. You're like, what's wrong with you? You know? Okay, Cloud, to the well-organized mind committing suppressive acts is but the next grand adventure.
How poetic.
I feel like this is on something, but I don't know. I grew up in a cult. Okay. Kit White. Hey, Aaron, I understand you've been busy, but were you able to show Mark and Mike the SP bunch?
Oh, is that like a video with all of us in different squares?
If it is, I haven't seen it. Kid, I don't know what you're talking about. Someone I think made reference to something that they had made. Kit, you must have emailed me something that I haven't seen, is what I'm guessing. So sorry about that. I'll keep an eye out, or just send it to me again. It's probably the best thing to do there.
Yeah.
Rural SD lawyer Aaron, that was me that ruined your sexy David Miscavige's dodging a grand jury subpoena. Yes, it was. That's right. Rural SD lawyer sent me an email or a tweet or something. I was like, oh, that's what it was. What are you doing?
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
All right. Tarkina, you're up because Mark clicked you. Joined late, watching on 1.25x. Mike, you need those blue LEDs so you all match. Love catching my SPTV folks.
Well, my blue LEDs are waiting for me at home.
Well, don't you have something behind you?
Yeah,
but they're weak. They're weak.
Oh.
And Maria, the kind woman who gave me these first ones, sent me a whole new set. In fact, she sent me 2 new sets that are waiting for me for when I get home. So next time we're on the road, I'll have my blue canoe stuff in the background too.
Nice. We are so close to breaking 4,000 live viewers. That's incredible.
We are.
Oh wow, look at that.
Okay, so Madhan Blackguard the third. Good job as always. Well, thank you very much. Yitzy says, is it Yitzy or Yeetsy? What would you guess?
Yitzy.
All right. Mike, you're an inspiration. Watch Going Clear. How did Marty return to Scientology? His testimony was damning. Also, how is David Miscavige not in prison?
Great questions.
Both great questions.
Great questions. Yep.
Yeah. Marty did not return. He just continued working for them again in regards to talking trash about us. That's it. He didn't go back. He doesn't have a desk. He doesn't have a 3 basket in, out, and pending. He's not wearing a name tag that has a Scientology thing on it. And how David Miscavige is not in prison is because he has very good lawyers that have been keeping him out of there for a while.
And he hides.
Yeah. And yeah, he does, and Leah touched on this. I don't know if it was in her, I think it was in her book, and she talked about it a little bit, about how she went to Tom's house. They played hide and go seek at Tom's house. And I think that maybe that's what Dave and Tom do when they're together. They probably just practice hide and seek. And that's when the cops come, he's going to have a nice little hiding spot and they're never going to find him because he's been practicing with Tom all this time.
They probably hide the seek and hide the salami.
Oh my goodness. What? I didn't say that. That was
I didn't hear that.
The salami is underneath the spinach in the back of the fridge, you sicko. I don't know what you're thinking of. I'm saying they're looking for the salami. They're just looking for it. Okay.
4,000.
4,000. And guys,
this is like a telethon.
It is.
It is.
But we've only been going 48 minutes.
Yeah. David Miscavige's 2 favorite hiding places: 1, Joe Rogan's fanny pack, and 2, Tom Cruise's gym bag. Those are the 2 favorite places. Okay. Jane Windish. Thank you, Aaron, for suffering in Los Angeles. Thank you. By the way, I probably look pretty funny with my my button-down shirt and my backpack on my little Lime scooter, scooting from the hotel to the courthouse. But it beats a 25-minute walk, which is about how far I am from the courthouse. I guess I just gave away the circumference of my location or something. Okay. Shy says Jane Doe should file charges against Graham Brewer while in California under the new laws. I have to touch on this first because this is crazy. The Jane Doe didn't even report Graham to the Scientology authorities because she thought that what he did was a crime. She reported it because it was out PR, because he kept grabbing her in public and she was 14 years old. She's like, he keeps doing this. This is out PR for Scientology. While investigating him, they found out he'd molested a whole ton of underage girls at Flag and then sent him back to South Africa. That's how disgusting these people are. Okay. All right. So Shannon Stam. Do people get pregnant on purpose to leave the Sea Org? Yes.
Yeah. That's like
that is the new get out of jail free card.
Yes. That is the new get out of jail free card. And they know it too.
Yeah.
And they can't and the Sea Org and the Scientology executives can't do anything about it, because if they do anything to pressure them, it's illegal. They're not supposed to do that. So now they kind of just have to shrug their head and let them go.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, Go ahead.
Well, that is how my wife and I got out of the Sea Organization.
It's how Christy got out.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's very popular.
Okay, yep. Jacob Harkey, are there any other individual words like Xenu that Scientologists are forbidden from saying? What about Tegiak? Tegiak. You guys say Tegiak. I like saying Tegiak, but this is an interesting question. I mean, off the top of my head, I cannot think of any other words, because the only things that are confidential are things that are on the OT levels. And other than Xenu and BTs and BT clusters, even Incident 1 and Incident 2 are not confidential. Though you can read about Incident 1 and am I wrong about that? Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Incident 1 and Incident 2 are confidential?
Yes, absolutely.
Not even in the GPM lectures on the briefing course, he doesn't talk about that shit?
No.
Huh. Okay.
No, the briefing course was in the 60s, Aaron. He didn't discover the Wall of Fire until 1967.
I don't know about that, Mike, because I've heard of Incident 1 and Incident 2, and I never heard about any of the other stuff.
Well, I'm telling you, Incident 1 and Incident 2 are part of OT3, which was discovered in 1967. The briefing course happened between 1961 and 65. So they're not in, but there is a whole bunch of other stuff about GPMs and, sort of a description of body thetans all the way back to the 50s, when they were, he was talking about these entities that infest people. And so, but the only other thing that I know, Aaron, is BTs and clusters. You can't talk about BTs and clusters. That's not words that you can use, but I'm not sure that there's anything else too much.
Well, it sounds like you're saying Incident 1 and Incident 2 would also be confidential words.
It's just that they don't mean anything to anybody. Incident 1, like for a Scientology, they probably would be considered confidential, but they sort of have no meaning, because there's incident this, incident that, history is full of incidents, and there's incidents all over the place. And that word is used more commonly. So that's Incident 1 and Incident 2 are sort of meaningless statements to Scientologists. But technically, if you were someone who was OT3 and you started saying to people who were not OT3, let me tell you, there is this thing called Incident 1 and there's this thing called Incident 2, you would be in ethics.
Yeah. And for those who are new, or those who are just tuning in and you don't know what TGAC is, that is what L. Ron Hubbard stated was the original name for the planet that we live on, called Earth. L. Ron Hubbard said that used to be called 75, was it trillion or million?
Million.
75 million years ago, this used to be called TGAC, and that Xenu put a bunch of thetans in volcanoes, which didn't exist 75 million years ago. And those are where the BTs got cooked. And then they flew out of there and they attached themselves to us, even though we weren't here 75 million years ago. And they were floating around until humans started. Were the BTs, were they just chowing down on dinosaurs this whole time before we showed up?
Well, that's always been a sort of a question that I had. Like what?
They're
happened
timeless.
between
Time doesn't exist for a Thetan. Time doesn't exist.
75 million years and, whenever people showed up here.
Yeah.
Like whole Thetans, not body Thetans. When did the big Thetans show up?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But also, if there was a certain amount of BTs, like let's just say there was 1 trillion BTs, and they only had so many people to stick to, how have they been? Does everybody have tens of thousands of them stuck to when there's billions of people now?
Well, they're thinning out. They're thinning out.
Oh, you're saying so? Like
they're jumping. They're jumping.
Yeah. So like it takes us like a real industrious Scientologist who audits. How many times a day are they supposed to do that OT7 nonsense? 6 times a day, and they're getting rid of tens of thousands of BTs 6 times a day. By the time another 10 years from now,
supposed to be clear.
Who's
maybe
all those BTs are supposed to be clear.
Yeah.
When they leave, they're supposed to be whole Thetans, big Thetan. Look, don't try and make sense out of this, Mark.
Maybe all the heat being generated by all the BTs blowing is what's causing global warming, and we need to shut Scientology down to save the planet.
It's like cow farts.
Aaron and Jeff Augustine did a video, and it might have been from a blog post that Jeff did, but he broke down the logistics of how many Thetans it would have to get from wherever Xenu's galaxy was, and how they brought them to Earth, and how many planes, like how many could fit on a plane. And it is the most ridiculous thing you'd ever work out, but it would wouldn't need
Mark,
10 million planes to bring them here.
Well, let's start from the fact that L. Ron Hubbard's entire story implies that this civilization had faster than light. These DC planes were able to travel faster than the speed of light because it took them like 60 days or 6 weeks or something. It was a very precise amount of time. L. Ron Hubbard said it took them to fly here from that other solar system.
Yeah.
And so L. Ron Hubbard can remember that Earth was called TGAC back then, but he can't remember the technology of the faster than light travel. He can only remember the easy shit.
And that they look like DC-8s. That's the best part of all. They're capable of faster than light travel, but they have the aerodynamics of a 1952 plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the other thing that's amazing about that is, think about this. These Thetans were frozen in a mixture of glycol and alcohol. Now, I've never really been able to understand how you freeze a Thetan, which has no mass, no location, no wavelength, no nothing. So how do you pull that off?
But it was the bodies, the Thetans in the body. It was the bodies that were frozen. But here's what I wasn't able to figure out. Once he blew them up, he had these electronic Thetan magnets, which means
ribbons.
he believed in Thetans and knew about Thetans. Then why the hell did he transport their bodies halfway across the galaxy? Why didn't he just trap their Thetans to begin with? None of it.
That's exactly what my thing was when Jeff laid out all the logistics. I'm like, he should have done that burn them up part. That should have been the first step. Burn them up. You don't have to freeze them. You don't have
They're much smaller.
Yeah.
You can squash 10,000 of them into one little spot.
The best part is no part. Just remember that, Lord Xenu. Okay. Just do the first thing first.
That's right.
Okay. I think we answered the hell out of that question.
We sure. Dylan Gill wants to know, are we supposed to make up fake names on here? And the answer
you can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
Some people do, obviously. There's an L. Ron Blubbered on here. There's a C.O. Bilf. There's a Eat More Pizza Now. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
I don't think Panko is a real person's name either.
Yeah. Or Weird Debbie M. Or this
Amy
one.
Scobie says,
or Japan of Green Gables.
Yeah, Japan of Green Gables.
Amy Scobie says, I was in Hamburg with Mark in 2010 for the conference with Ursula Caberta.
She was. That was round 2 for me.
Lathander Grauklinger, what happens to a BT caught under a tattoo?
Ooh, especially under an SPTV tattoo.
Wow.
That's probably going to be a feisty one under there.
That's a BT that'll never get blown.
Yeah.
in more ways than one. Todd Hodgson, keep up the good work, guys. Thank you, Todd. Deviant.
Oh shit, we're at 59:57 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost. Let's do this one, and we'll do the giveaway.
So,
doing this
what are
one?
we doing? My book?
No, we got a bracelet to give away next.
Okay.
Okay.
If and when jury members are being intimidated by Danny Masterson and crew, are there any legal obligation on part of the jury to report it? If not, no, just no. Oh yeah, no, they're under obligation. Well, obligation is probably the right word. If anyone approaches them to talk about the trial at all or anything, they're definitely obligated to report it. For shizzle. Okay, so let me hide this comment. All right, guys, you know what to do. You got to blow up that live chat. I mean, you got to really let it.
Who's
rip.
picking it?
You are, Marc. I'm
okay,
doing
good.
my book. You said you're doing the SP bracelet.
Okay,
All
we're
right.
giving away an SP bracelet.
I mean, there's 4,000 people in the chat. We should be seeing 4,000 comments per second.
Yeah, I'm still starring things too here. Okay, let's do a countdown here. I'm gonna get this real quick. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna spin this thing like the Wheel of Fortune. I don't want to land on bankrupt.
Guys, I just want to let you guys in the live chat know we specifically turned off the slow chat option on this stream so that you guys could burn the hell up out of that chat.
We did, and it is going. I can't even scroll it fast enough.
I know.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Christy Covington.
This is like winning the Powerball. There were so many chats in there.
It was getting a really, really crazy. Christy, what's happening to Mike?
Mike, I guess that's his phone.
Oh, he's got Mike. It sounded like a train was going through there. What kind of phone do you got?
It's because it rang on my iPad.
Oh.
I turned off my phone and it rang on my iPad.
Unbelievable. You and Claire need to go to the same turn off your devices school. Okay. And mine just went off. Mine just went off. Went ding.
So yeah, we have like 2,600 comments in the last like 45 seconds.
Yeah, Christy Covington, please email Claire at blownforgood.com. And you could take a screenshot of the screen right now if you want to. Otherwise, you are the lucky winner. You will have to, there's a sizing chart on the spshop.com, and you can figure out what your wrist size is there, and then let us know what your size is. We just got in a whole new batch of SP bracelets of all different sizes. So if you were trying to get one and you couldn't because we didn't have your size, we have tons of all the sizes now. But Christy, send that email in, and we will make sure we ship one out to you right away.
Awesome. Cool. Man,
we're going backwards on the number of starred questions, by the way.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
I just starred like 20 in the last 10 minutes. People have been, and there's a big one in there, Aaron. There's a big one. There's a very big one in there.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Okay, hold on.
How do you find the big ones?
It's at the top.
Ooh.
Oh.
It ain't going away either. You know how some of them like go down after a little bit? This one ain't going anywhere.
Oh, but it's not at the top in the way. Wait. I know what you mean. Holy shit.
I told you.
Chris Curtin was at the trial with me today. How do I pull this up? I got to find. Have you started? Have you started?
Yeah, I started.
Go to the top, Aaron, and you can just.
I can't. It doesn't let me. If I click on that, I can see it, but then when I click on it, it doesn't
I see. Nothing happens. It doesn't.
I'll get it for you. I know where it is.
Star it.
I did.
Holy tamale.
Well, Mike could have unstarred it because he was unstarring the ones I was starring. So
I didn't touch that.
Okay. Well, I'll get it up. You keep going through the questions, Aaron, and I'll make sure it's there for you.
All righty. Well, here we go. Sasha P. What's up with these aliens and wizards? Elijah Muhammad taught his NOI followers that over 6,000 years ago, the black race lived in a paradise on earth that was destroyed by the evil wizard Yaqub, who created the
white
race, the White Devils. Origin stories sound familiar. Does that origin story sound familiar to you guys? I don't get it.
Well, it's just aliens and wizards. I mean,
oh, the alien. Oh, I got it.
yeah.
Everybody has to have a good alien and wizard shit.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, so let's see. Teaching with Tula. Do you think that it's possible that Scientology exists on some level because LRH didn't get the psychiatric help he requested back in the day, leading to his complete disdain of psychiatry? Yes.
100%. He offered it to them and they dissed him. So he was like, okay, we're gonna compete now.
Yeah. Well, and also, I wonder if on some level, because part of LRH's story is that he cured himself of what was wrong with himself. And so to an extent, if he had gotten the therapy that he was asking for, he wouldn't even be able to he wouldn't have even had this thing that he was going to pretend he fixed in himself with this thing he created. I wish I understood. And because even after reading Barefaced Messiah, I'm still not clear on how he actually, what actually happened there, that kernel of time. There was like a 2.5 year period between where he was asking the VA for therapy and when he published Dianetics. What exactly happened there? How did he sit down and write that book exactly? I don't even think that question was answered in Barefaced Messiah.
Yeah, I don't think it was either, but I'm not sure that there is a good answer. He just sat down and made shit up and published it in a book.
Exactly. Okay. So here's Chris Curtin. Chris Curtin was at
Holy
the trial today.
Shit.
That's the biggest super chat ever in the history of SPTV. Thank you, Chris. That's very generous of you. Chris says, that was so much fun today. Can't wait to be in the gallery again. Had to really control my face. Making M a quote of the day from the judge. Don't ever tell me to hold on. I feel like that was a typo.
Had to really control my face. Making M a quote of the day from the judge. Don't ever tell me to hold on. So she said that.
Oh, did I tell you the story?
She said that.
When Cohen was being argumentative, he was like, Your Honor, because they were talking over each other a little bit. Yeah. And Cohen said, Your Honor, hold on. And she goes, first of all, don't you ever tell me to hold on.
Wow. Isn't she like the king of the courtroom? Like, you don't mess with the judge.
You don't mess with the judge. So yeah, I think Chris is coming back on Wednesday. And guys, the courtroom was not full. Actually, even after, I've been asking people for a week to come on down to the courtroom and, as a show of support for the Jane Does. And there was a number of people there, but I'll say it wasn't full. So if you're in the LA area and you want to come on down, there's 4 days left in the week. Court starts at 9 a.m., ends at 4 p.m. You don't have to be there at 9. You can come in at any point. People were trickling into the courtroom all day, which I thought was against the rules, but apparently it's not.
You can even come and go. If you got to do something, you could come and do something and then leave and then come back later. And it doesn't really matter. The other thing is that the only restriction is you just have to put your phone in one of these little yonder bags when you go in there. You still get to keep the phone. It's just inside of a bag that you can't get into. But
exactly. Esang7 says, the other evening I was watching one of the previous live streams where Marc was in his deep, sexy ASMR mood. My husband came into the room wondering what the hell I was watching. Thank you for always cracking me up, y'all, especially you, Marc. Well, she spelled your name wrong. So there. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Teaching with Tula again. Y'all are doing great things and making a difference every day. Keep up the fight. Thank you so much. Thank you, Betty much. Okay, Patty B. Question: does Mike know how lovable he is? A bobblehead will have to do. That's nice. This next one, I'm not sure what this means. Can we have SPTV family bobbleheads, please?
What that means like everybody gets one. Aaron gets one. Mike, listen, guys, I just got to tell you, until I get this Leah one done, we're not doing any more. We got to get that one.
I don't think the Leah one will ever get done.
Oh my God, don't say that. That's so negative.
Aaron.
Well, the thing is, they're individually created and painted. So, like, what if half of them look good and half of them?
We're not going to show Leah the ones that don't look good.
But people will be disappointed when they get them, though.
No, they won't.
Oh, Aaron.
Even Aaron, some of the ones that we've done, they look great. They just don't look like Leah. They look like Natalie Portman or Jennifer Garner or
Chris Hemsworth.
One of them did look a little bit like Chris Hemsworth. Anyway, but they just don't look like Leah. Anyway,
all I'm saying is nobody could possibly mess this head up on a bobblehead.
That's true. Your bobblehead would probably be pretty easy to crank out. That's a good one. The paint is just, you just dip that one. They don't have to like,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike's has salt and pepper hair. His is, you can tell like the hair is different colors. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Iona, 1974. After all these years in Scientology and what you found out afterwards, is there anything that you found out recently about Scientology that shocked you? I think we found out all the shocking stuff pretty early on in the journey.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know about the Xenu stuff, but that definitely, when I watched South Park and I looked up at Claire, literally remember it was like yesterday. I'm watching the show and she's standing in the doorway of our bedroom that led into the living room. And I look over and I look at her and I go, it says, this is what Scientology actually believes at the bottom of the screen while they're saying, and then Lord Xenu did that. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? And I'm like, is this for real? And she goes, basically, yeah. And I was like, what? I was like, are you kidding me? And she was like, yeah, that's basically it. It's pretty much. And the only thing they screwed up on that is they said thetans. That's it. That's the only criticism that you can give that entire episode. They said thetans instead of thetans. That's it.
Yeah, it was pretty darn good. All right, James Moynihan. Does Scientology turn their back on members who've been sent to prison? Will they offer support, resources, or are they out in the cold at that point?
Cold. Very cold.
Yeah, when Reed Slack,
very cold, and they
when
were
Reed Slacken committed,
we threw them out before we evicted them because they couldn't maintain our high ethical standards.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy though is they have a program called Criminon that is for prisoners. That's right. To rehabilitate prisoners. So if you like robbed somebody and did it like a violent crime, and then went to prison. And then did a little extension course where you wrote, yeah, I'm not going to hurt people anymore. And you send your lessons into Scientology. When you get out, one of the guys, actually, when I was at Association for Better Living and Education, the Sea Org group that runs the front groups, Applied Scholastics, Narconon, Criminon, and Way to Happiness, the guy that became the executive director of Criminon was a prisoner who did the Criminon program in prison. He got out of prison and said, I want to work at Criminon. And because there was only like 6 people that worked there, within like a few months, he was the executive director. Wow. So they'll open arm a prisoner that's coming into Scientology. But if you're a Scientologist and you do something bad and go to prison, that's it. We're done with you.
Yep.
Well, the founder of Narconon was a prisoner too.
Yeah.
Gary Smith?
No, Willie Benitez.
Oh, the founder. Yes, Willie Benitez. Yeah, he started. That's actually a great point, Mike. The guy who founded Narconon did L. Ron Hubbard books. He read books and stuff in prison, and he wrote. Did he write to L. Ron Hubbard?
Yes. He
wrote to L. Ron Hubbard and said, hey, you should do a program, a drug rehab program. And that's how Narconon came about. It was
and you know, it started with TRs, not with the Pura.
Yeah.
That was before there even was a Pura.
Yeah, they just did that crazy bull bait and OTTR0 where you stare at somebody, and they just did that in prison.
And they do the upper Indoc TRs there as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Catherine Olson says, I saw a Celebrity Center graduation video with Tony Muhammad speaking, and he said that Louis Farrakhan told him to ally with Scientology. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, well, Calypso Louis said that publicly. I mean,
Calypso
he gave
Louis?
us, that's what they call him. He gave a speech where he talked about L. Ron Hubbard and the this amazing man who was going to save everybody. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah. All right. Steve Britton says David Miscavige must be the world hide and seek champion. At least he isn't playing Find the Earring.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of being the world hide and seek champion, on the flight over here, they were showing in the programming in like the Delta Lounge, they were showing World Championship tag, professional tag. Have you seen this? Have you seen this, Mark?
You're talking about like tag your it?
Tag your
it.
Yes.
That's a sport now.
It's a ring, and there's obstacles, and they're flying
They
through
jump
them.
over things. I've seen it.
You know what?
Professional.
You know what? This explains everything to me, Aaron. Because I couldn't figure out how so many people were watching us on YouTube. Now that you're telling me tags on TV, this is the best thing going right now. This show right here, or what we're in the middle of right now. How do you watch tag? Like, if you're not involved in the game, then why watch it? That's a game that you don't need to like know the outcome.
You know what was on TV in the hotel last night, Aaron? Professional cornholing.
Whoa, hey Mike, I don't know if you can say that on YouTube.
You know, throwing the little things.
Oh, you're talking about beanbagging. Oh,
well, they call it cornholing.
I know.
Oh,
take it easy, Mike. Take it easy. Don't bite my head off. Yeah, no, we've been known to throw some bags in my neighborhood.
I know, but televising it's kind of boring.
Yeah,
was it on ESPN the Ocho?
The Ocho. We have in our neighborhood, in our cul-de-sac, we actually have
TV.
We have a ring, which is the cornhole champion. We actually have a trophy. Whoever wins wears the trophy, and it's a big thing. So
nice. Okay, Anne Hummingbird says, "Tell Claire I got my bobblehead. I hope Amy got hers. Now I need info for the Xenu crochet lady."
Look in the description of any one of the recent videos I've done. I pretty much always end up putting it in there because someone asks for it, and I'll put it in the description of this one as well. But I think it's Coffee's Crochet and Colts is the Facebook group. If you want to look for it there.
Okay, Adriana Mora from Mexico. Hola, amigos. I'm curious how big Scientology is here in Mexico. I've never seen someone enter their centers, and I live close to them. Regards. Well, I'll tell you, for us US-based Scientologists, we were pretty much led to believe that Mexico was one of the places Scientology was taking over the whole freaking country because they could tell us anything was going on in Mexico and we'd believe it. There's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 orgs in Mexico, and they're all sort of moderately sized. But for all I know, they're tiny, and we just always thought they were doing good. I don't know.
Well, they have a building. I put it on my blog the other day. Pictures of a building that they've renovated that remains completely empty. And I think that the AO that they opened there, I think they opened an advanced org there, didn't they? No.
They're trying to.
But they keep having problems with zoning and whatever else. I think that the state of Scientology in Mexico is pretty much like the state of Scientology everywhere else in the world, going down the toilet.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Destiny Salazar says, I received my bobblehead today. Just want to say thank you for consistently showing up and fighting for what's right. It means a lot. Well, thank you so much. Barb Sylvia is back. You guys have ruined my TV life. Every day when I get home from babysitting my great nephew, my DVR is over full, and I do not have time to watch it because I'm on SPTV.
That's how mine is. I don't have time to watch my shows because I'm doing this show.
Okay, this is Daniela Arrizo. Big hug from Ecuador. Keep up the good job. Fantastic.
Wow, Ecuador. That's cool.
Is there any Scientology in Ecuador?
I think there's a mission there.
Daniela, let us know if there's if you get any search results for Scientology in Quito or Lima is in Peru, right? Quito is the capital of Ecuador. I think it is.
Yes. That's right.
That's not bad for growing up in a cult, right?
Yeah, very, very excellent.
Okay, Irene Hoffman, sorry for grinding, but were the branded or punished allowed to participate in the parties in the 90s?
No.
Right.
No. If you're in a lower condition or you were declared to be a tiger or something else or rather, no, you didn't get to participate in those things.
Yeah. Teaching with Tula. I have to imagine Teaching with Tula must be spreading the love around to the different channels, because this is at least the third time Teaching with Tula has popped up. Thank you, Teaching with Tula. Joe Birchfield, Nation of Islam thinks scientist named Yaqub made the whites. There you go.
Scientist. A mad scientist. Like Dr. Frankenstein.
Nancy Griffin's Aquatics. Is Tom Medals of Valor really large compared to others, or is he just so small that it seems huge?
Both.
It is. It's probably at least twice as big as the normal IAS Freedom Medal, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Oh no, it's the Flav. It's the Flava Flav edition. It's like a clock. It looks like a clock,
and it's got emeralds and all sorts of shit on it.
It literally is bedazzled, just like a Flava Flav clock, but it has an IAS symbol in the middle of it. It's ridiculous. You couldn't wear it. It would never. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Could you imagine if someone stole that and it wound up on like, what's the website? eBay?
That would be amazing. Tom Cruise's Scientology medal, $7 goes to the highest bidder.
or found in one of those storage facilities.
Yeah, Storage Wars. They like bust it open. They're like, oh my God, it's Tom Cruise's stuff.
Like that Richie Akunto IAS thing that I have in my office.
Oh, I was so jealous that Mike got a platinum meritorious trophy.
Oh, you know that thing
is it silver? Is it the silver meritorious or platinum meritorious?
I haven't looked for a while. I don't remember.
But Aaron, it's so heavy. We were trying.
Oh, I know. I picked it up.
Yeah, what is it, Mike? It at least weighs 50 pounds.
Yeah. I would have said 35, but it's damn heavy.
If it fell off and hit somebody, they'd have to go to the ER.
Oh, you'd break your foot. So I think it's silver meritorious, which is $500,000. And what I want is, like, if I had one in my house, I'd bring some, under the radar Scientologist over. I'd be like, this costs you $500,000. I got it $7 shipping off eBay.
Well, I got it for free.
Yeah.
He didn't pay anything for it.
All I had to do was drive to Tampa.
All right. Yitzi says, watching your show, one can really appreciate how precious freedom is and how dangerous cults are. Question: where is Tommy Davis? I hope he left Scientology.
Tommy Davis is in Cairo, avoiding process servers, living with his new wife after having abandoned his last wife and twin daughters.
Yeah, Tommy Davis pulled a Tom Cruise and abandoned his children.
Yeah, but Tommy Davis never had a second wife. He only had this third one. Actually, now that I think of it, I think this is his fourth wife.
Nadine, Jessica, this one, that's 3. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is his third wife. That's right. You know who got Tommy Davis into Scientology?
It was Claire's dad.
It was the stepdad, the expert witness. He's the one who got Tommy into Scientology.
So I asked Claire, I said, how could Hugh have gotten Tommy into Scientology if Tommy was born into Scientology? And the answer was because he was just one of these delinquents that never wanted anything to do with Scientology.
He was a rich Beverly Hills kid who didn't give a shit about anything. And he was smoking pot and doing his thing. And then he went and was getting auditing at the Beverly Hills Mission. And he finally was like, eh. And then they pressured him to join the Sea Org. And then he went to CC. And then the rest is history.
Yeah. I can tell you, if Hugh Witt saw what went on in court today, he would be begging not to be called to the stand.
Oh, let me tell you something. If they call him, then they've essentially given up if they call him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they're going to call any witnesses.
Claire has forgotten more than he's ever going to know about Scientology. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how much he knows. He doesn't know anything. He was never in the Sea Org. He was never at the Ant base. He was an auditor at the Beverly Hills mission. That was his, that's his highest level of attainment.
Okay. Next one. Angela Bernhardt, friend of Hogue. In lieu of a tattoo, I would like to respectfully request an SPTV fridge magnet. I'll tell you, you're definitely getting SPTV fridge magnets once we get our, the merch stores up and running. That's for sure. T-shirts, hoodies, magnets, mugs.
It's all coming. We just have to not be out of town and work on just that somewhere where we are. We're doing other things, and yeah, it's all coming. It's all coming. Everything will be here.
Exactly. Okay, Carrie, what were each of your thoughts when you found out the truth about all of LRH's lies about his life? Well, my first thought was, that sounds about right. I should have probably known that.
I guess my first thought was, wow, a lot of things suddenly make sense to me. Like that it changed my perspective on all of the rest of the stuff. And that was very, very revelatory. When you understand that Hubbard was a storyteller / liar from the earliest age, and then you sort of recount the lies and bullshit all the way through his life, a lot of Scientology inconsistencies and weirdities and things suddenly all go, oh, of course, it's just bullshit. Yeah. So that was my reaction.
Yeah. Okay. Pat Shore says, Aaron, you need to talk to Leah and get her on the broadcast. I know she can't speak during the trial, but maybe the last day. Well, we did go to lunch today, and I spoke to her about interviewing with Claire for the Shelley Miscavige series. And I think it's going to happen. So
nice.
But yeah,
you know, we're up to 4,400 in the chat right now.
Yep. It's awesome, right? It's awesome. 4,400 watching live. Jessica Ozier says, bracelet, please.
Yeah, Jessica, you could have just bought one for that. That's
I know. That's what I was going to say.
You're right there. You just I'm sorry to tell you that now. Thank you for the super chat, but you were almost there already.
Oh, okay. Pamela Crawford, I rewatched an AA run video. He said that Debbie Cook bitch slapped DM. Actually, I said, no, I didn't. I think I said she pimp slapped him, and I meant figuratively.
Right.
When she took the stand, she pimp slapped him.
Yeah, because she basically said, give me that money. And then he did.
Yeah.
Which is what that is.
She said, Miscavige is my bottom bitch.
Oh, my goodness.
And I learned that
really,
from South
and
Park.
he really was.
Yeah. Andy Fabulous says, now I understand the purchase of the TV studio in downtown LA. The Hemet compound will become the Nation of Islam base.
Oh, that's true. He's just going to gift it to them. Here you guys go. There's a mother wheel landing strip out here, and you got the whole thing over there. And yeah.
Wow. Unfortunately, LRH and David Miscavige will need to eat soul food.
You know, the NOI took over basically the Applied Scholastics facility in St. Louis.
Did they really?
Yes. They have couples get-togethers there.
No.
I put it on my blog. It was amazing. Like they took over the whole place for a Nation of Islam couples get-together week.
You call it that Spanish Lakes joint?
Yes.
Where Tom Cruise spoke at the opening?
Yes, that one.
Wow.
Oh, so this person may not be far off. You know what?
Yes.
There's nothing happening at the Ant base. That property it's gone. It's useless basically. The stuff they're doing there is strictly busy work. Busy work.
Well, and someone also messaged me and said most of the staff members at Detroit Day are Nation of Islam people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same in Chicago if they ever get that joint open.
Wow. Crazy.
And
okay,
it
Bonnie
already is that way in DC.
In DC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When Mark and I went by DC, and the only people that you see standing outside have bow ties and, the women
Yeah.
dressed like Nation of Islam women.
No.
We
Yes.
actually, Aaron, we were staying. So when you came to DC with us that one time,
Yeah.
we were staying on the opposite side of town, like past the train station and all that. Well, when we went this last trip, we were staying on the other side of town, and we would drive by the Scientology org on the way to our project every single day. And every time we would drive by, the only people we would see were the NOI guys. It was weird. It was kind of like, these are the guys here then, I guess, now, because that's all we're seeing.
Wow. Guys, look what time it is.
It's giveaway time.
It's my turn.
It's giveaway
book,
time.
right?
It's
the
scuffed
signed
book. It's the scuffed book giveaway.
Let's show. Should we show it? Do we have it on our person?
Yeah.
What? We're in a hotel, dude.
I'm in a hotel in the middle of nowhere.
I thought that's why the book got scuffed.
He bought the scuffed
it got
book.
scuffed when it got sent to Colorado.
When I shipped it from my house after sending it to Colorado, when we were still doing that silly routine, it got messed up.
This one, I think Claire's cleaning out her office, and she was like, "Oh, here's a great. Oh, this is the one that was. It's literally. It's not even the book. It's the cover that just has like a little crinkle in the bottom of it or something. It's not.
So Mike's doing the giveaway then. Okay, so you got to count it down, and guys, you got to burn up the live chat.
Yeah,
there's 4,444 people are watching right now.
Wow, look at that! I think StreamYard just likes to keep those nice even numbers. It's always like that.
Oh, we just lost one.
Oh, we just gained one.
Okay, 5. Well, I don't see a whole lot of people asking for the book.
Oh, are you kidding
we had
me?
1,000 comments in the last 15 seconds.
Are you kidding me, Mike? You got to scroll down, not start live. Holy moly. We just had literally 7,000 comments in the last 8 seconds.
Okay.
Count it down, though. Don't just count it down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't even know who that was.
There it is. Pick me. Xenu prophesized I would get the book.
There you go.
A Chucko.
I think Chuko even did a comment earlier.
Chuko. Yeah.
I
hey,
think
you win.
There you go. A Chuko, you got it.
Yeah. Xenu prophesized. He did, I guess.
Chuko. That's what I think it is. Okay.
A Chuko. A Chu KO.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
I like when we give away bobbleheads, they say bobble me. And when we gave away the bracelet, they said bracelet me. And now they said book me.
Nice.
Book me.
We had 3,000 comments in the last 30 seconds.
Wow.
Are you shitting me?
Nope.
Nope.
Pretty good.
That's a lot of comments.
I didn't even know where all these things are. I'm sorry.
You know what?
The trick to finding out what the comment count is to be looking in the starred comments, because then you can see how many of the live comments it's racking up that you haven't clicked on yet.
Yeah.
I see. I see that now. Look at that. That's amazing.
I wish we could get all these commenters to be subscribers.
I know. Where are all these people?
Yeah. When you ask them when you say you're going to give a book away, they get to doing stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, start subscribing.
All right, so here we go. Winter Scoop says, my eyes were opened up by Anonymous. They showed the stuff Scientology was doing, and it helped me break away from all religion. You three are heroes. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, people ask why we don't talk about Anonymous more. I don't talk about him because I was still like in the bubble when all that was going on. I really wasn't exposed to any of it.
Yeah, I
just have nothing to say about it.
Yeah, I used to do all kinds of stuff with Anonymous. Even those 2 Germany trips that I did, Anonymous they were actually in the conference with all these European governments and everything. There were people in the crowd wearing V for Vendetta masks in the thing. Like they were everywhere. I've been out to, I used to do a thing where I'd go, like if I was doing a job in Vegas or whatever, I would just put it out on social media and be like, hey, it's Mark here, blown for good. I'm in Vegas. Who wants to meet? And then they would organize it, and I'd just show up and eat pizza and drink beer with a bunch of anonymous people, tell crazy stories, and then bug out. So awesome. I've had lots of fun with the anonymous.
Nice. Destiny Salazar. Hey, Aaron, I saw your appearance on Popcorn Planet today. So glad to see that pop culture sites are interested in getting the news out about Scientology now because of this trial. So yeah, Andy and I, Popcorn Planet, we pre-recorded something a few days ago, and he just aired it today. There's actually another one that's in the can. He's going to air later. So yes, thank you very much, Destiny. Thank you very, very much. Okay, scrolling down. Denver, Steve-O. Marilyn Honig, can you make a life-size crocheted Xenu costume for the real Mike?
Oh my god, there are quite a few people in this chat willing to donate.
Mike does dress up for Halloween every Halloween, and
that's true. That is
true. And Christy and I were talking about this year. We've got to get back to Xenu again. Do a Xenu Halloween.
Because you were Xenu one year.
It was very popular.
Mike, how did I miss this?
And what was Christy? Was she what? I forget.
She
what
was
Christy
Lady
was.
Xenu.
Lady Xenu.
Lord Xenu had a wife, I'm sure.
Lord and Lady. Did you own property in his galaxy? Is that how you became a lord? You know, you could get one of those. We should talk to those established titles guys.
Established titles. You know, they're running it. It's a complete scam.
Well, I mean, it depends on.
But so are the OT levels, so it doesn't matter.
From that, a person who lives near us, who Aaron knows, actually, you know Marc too. She gave me 2 glasses that are inscribed Lord Xenu and Lady Xenu.
Wow!
Haven't you seen them in our kitchen?
I think I have. I have.
Yeah, they're very cool. Anyway, I think a Xenu outfit for this year is going to be the thing.
Nice.
And
somehow
Jack
our
will be
chat,
Xenu.
Baby Xenu.
All right. Somehow our chat numbers are dropping. So, all right, Chris Curtin. That was certainly interesting, educational, and good. And a good old-fashioned Judge Smackdown. Loved being an SP in court. And I quote of the day is Judge A. Oh, wait. Is that the same one we already did? Or did he make
No.
No, he made another one.
He made another one because that one was messed up. Is Judge A. Don't tell me to hold on ever again.
Yes, indeed. Kit White is responding again. I emailed it to Growing Up in Scientology. Oh, this was the Brady Bunch thing. I'll send it again. No problem. I made a photo of you guys looking like the Brady Bunch title card. Instead, it says the SP Bunch.
That does sound like fun.
Hot
we
damn.
should get a video of all of us looking around like that.
Yeah.
And then put those videos in somebody could do a graphic with that.
Yeah. Christina Lucia. I wonder what Scientology is doing behind the scenes fair game wise in regards to Judge Almeida, or would they not take the risk?
Ooh, they had better not take that risk.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Cindy Trenkel, first-time poster, been an SP follower since the Aftermath episode. Y'all are awesome. Keep up the good fight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I'm scrolling down. Daniel Cathers. Aaron, I sent you the AI generated images you wanted to your email. I sent you some bonus ones too. Even some Marc can like. Awesome.
Not unless they're landscape.
Awesome. Larry B. Mike, being the senior member of the panel,
yes,
i.e. 70s and 80s version, do you ever feel that the Scientology watchers of today don't understand why it was a thing in the first place?
That's actually a really good question. I think that in the 60s and 70s, Scientology was way cooler than it is today, or considered to be way cooler than it is today. It was the time of the counterculture. Scientology was counterculture. Scientology was anti-government. You know, all the hippies and people were anti-government. So if the government said that Scientology sucked, those people loved it. So yeah, I do think that era of Scientology is such a distant memory that people don't really get how Scientology grew to be as big as it was back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, it was never huge, ever, but it was considerably bigger than it is today.
Right. Indeed. Okay, so tools and stuff. Why do you think LRH was so vehemently against psychology? Was it because of a bad experience or only because he was running his own mental health grift through Dianetics? So here's the thing. We did answer this question earlier in the stream. So I'm sorry to burn a super chat on you, but for everyone in the replay, the good news is, tools and stuff, that if you watch the replay, I'll actually go through later and put chapter breaks for every different question, and you can find the question there. So I think that's fair, though. But thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, let's see. I'm going to jump back up. Okay, Suzanne, how exactly did Hubbard get the inspiration to come up with the word WOG to mean ex-Scientologist? I can't imagine he just made it up from nothing.
He stole it from the Navy, because in the Navy, if you haven't gone past the equator, then they call you a polywog. And and it's a derogatory word also in England and actually, Australia and other places.
I just realized something. I've said, because Hubbard spent a lot of time in the UK, and did he not spend some time in Australia? Did he? I was always confused about that.
I don't know about
spend time in Australia, Mike. Did you freeze, Mike?
It looks like he did, or he's just
Mike. Really, if you need help, blink.
He's just really
okay.
Still.
Well, Mark, here's what I was trying to make. I've been saying because Hubbard spent time in the UK, he knew WOG was a racial slur, but he didn't move to the UK until after he started Scientology, and he was already using the word WOG before he went to the UK.
It's a Navy term.
It was a Navy term.
Yeah, it's 100% a Navy term.
Okay.
I've gotten emails from tons of military people that say that, hey, Mike is unfrozen again.
Mike's
or he
back.
was just being very still. It's definitely, somebody said his TRs are in. Look at that. Anyway, he definitely stole it from the Navy. He stole a lot of terms from the Navy. If you go through them, a lot of people have written in saying, "Oh, that's a Navy thing. That's a military thing."
There you go. Okay, good. The chat numbers are going back up. Okay, let's go. Susan Sprague, the Young Turks just roasted Grant Cardone on tonight's show. Oh, I've got to look for that.
We got to take a peek at that.
Yeah. By the way, me and Jeff Augustine have done just some brutal videos about the fraud. Gary Cardone and his ex-wife Monica will be lucky if they don't get criminally prosecuted for the fraud they're running over at Chargebacks 911. So
there's a really good super chat about them coming up.
Oh, nice.
How they're possibly going to be doing that Criminon course I was talking about earlier.
Marilyn Honig. Hi guys. Question: where do SPs come from? Do they have excessive amounts of body thetans?
They were created on the planet Farsec.
That's real. He's not joking.
Well, psychiatrists.
And psychiatrists then create more SPs by using electric shock, and I don't know. There's like many sort of parts to this story, but there is a super confidential writing by L. Ron Hubbard where he talks about the planet Farsec, Farsec, that is the source of psychiatric suppressiveness in the universe. So that's where basically SPs come from. SPs create other SPs around them by suppressing the people, and it's all a little fuzzy and not totally well defined, but that's generally the answer.
Nice. Danny Hightree says Louis Farrakhan was involved in the assassination of Malcolm X the last time there was a problem. It's a strong point there. Strong point. Okay, scrolling down here. Megan Rerode. Hey guys, been a while since I could get to see y'all. I'm so hooked on Aaron's court blow by blow. Last name is Rerode. Okay, Megan.
There you go. Look at that.
Nice. She knew you were going to butcher it, and she ended it with the pronunciation key there.
That's smart. Very smart. Okay, scrolling down. Let's see. Excuse me. Oh, I like that. Excuse me. Do you ever think an event could happen, alien invasion, natural disaster, that would prompt an uptick in Scientology. Can anything stop the demise? What do you guys think?
Not really. If Xenu shows up after getting after the batteries die out on his electronic prison that they locked him in, the loyal soldiers or whatever they're called,
Officers.
loyal officers. I always say loyal soldiers, loyal officers. If he shows up, he's gonna unload a can of whoop ass on Dave, and that's gonna be the end of it. He's capable of intergalactic travel, and we're worried about a 413 guy named Dave. Okay, I'm not gonna put my money on Dave. I'm gonna put my money on the intergalactic overlord Xenu. I'm telling you, when Xenu shows up, DraftKings is David Miscavige is gonna be the underdog on that card all day long.
Get on the right side of history. All right,
Yeah.
Jenny Davis, please tell Leah we hope to see her on SPTV. Oh, she definitely will. She definitely will.
She knows.
Check this out. Love you guys. Mike, I live in Uruguay, and I already bothered all my U.S. family to locally receive and send me your book if you ever feel like giving away a signed copy.
Nice.
Nice.
I thought I was following the comment until the very end, and then it made me wonder whether I understood the earlier part, but that's okay. Okay. Alexia Thacker, any Jehovah's Witnesses content coming to SPTV? Would love to see you all interview the couple who run the XJW Critical Thinkers YouTube channel. I think that's quite possible. I mean, the interview that I did with Shalise Ansola, she's former Mormon, on my channel was interesting. It would be just as interesting to do a chat like that with former JWs. You know? Yeah.
There's an enormous amount of parallels. I learned so much about that subject from the show that we did on the Aftermath.
Oh, right. Oh, this is an interesting one. JLD is me. Church of Scientology YouTube is owned by an anonymous person.
I think the handle at Church of Scientology, Anonymous has that handle.
Interesting.
Yeah, that
okay.
also might be the reason why Scientology has scooped up so many domain names, is that there were people buying them all the time, just randomly, and that's why they had to buy 10,000 of their own.
Yeah. Remember the old "I want my MTV" commercials? We need an SPTV version. We do.
That's what we started the show with.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we can't have Sting sing
I
it
want
because
my
otherwise,
MTV.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, MTV had their Spaceman as well. That is the inspiration, I think, for that intro.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
So
That's
about
exactly
a bang. Okay. Bonnie Dayshaw says, Mark, are you worried about Claire's safety? Does she have some security while there? Bet you wish you could be with her. Thanks for reporting, Ron.
Yeah. As far as I know, I don't know a lot about this because we're trying to not talk about any of this, but I am not worried about her. And I'm pretty sure the person that she'll be with while she's there, we've already witnessed that person has security. So I think we'll be okay.
Yes. And he's an Israeli badass. He probably works for Mossad. Okay. Stephanie East. Loved seeing Aaron on Popcorn Planet. My two worlds collided. Love you all. Got to have my SPTV. I might get a tattoo, actually. Well, Stephanie, you send us some photos and some video. And
Yeah.
you will have a starring role on SPTV.
That's what Aaron's doing in the chat. You up? Send pics.
You got an SPTV tattoo?
Yeah.
Is it on your feet?
With ink.
Okay, Jennifer Reed, are you still providing Aftermath cards?
Yep.
Yes, and somebody might have left some Aftermath cards around the courthouse today. Somebody might have dropped some Aftermath cards on the floor around Danny Masterson's crew.
Yeah. Okay, Aaron, I gotta say this. This is a good point about the cards, but isn't it weird when you're in the courtroom and you're hearing a person testify about what happened to them, what Danny did, and his wife and his brother and his whole family are there to listen? Isn't it the most surreal, bizarre thing?
It is, especially since the defense, their argument is kind of like, yeah, all these girls wanted it. It's not even like they're lying or making it up. It's like, Yeah, but it was consensual, and they're
Yeah.
testifying to the most horrible things.
Yeah, but and his
Yeah.
whole family is hearing it. And this
His
is the
mom's there.
round 2.
His mom, his brothers, his sister wasn't there. Well, Chris Wadhams was there. Like, by the way, I've been calling Will Masterson his dad. Will Masterson's one of the brothers. My mistake. His wife's sister was there. Like, it is incredibly awkward.
It's got to be the weirdest thing for them.
Yeah.
It's weird
Yeah.
for
So,
me just sitting there being embarrassed for them.
Yeah. So Jennifer Reed, anyone can email volunteer@theaftermathfoundation.org. And as long as you're in the United States, just give them your mailing address and they'll send you some Aftermath cards. So there you go. Bada bing. Okay, let's see. Eat more pizza now. Dumb question. Would today's Scientology be trusted more and have more members if David Miscavige was older, appearing to be wiser?
No.
Yeah. Nah. Hey, what do you think about the photos that just came out of him? Those are the ones that they actually published. What do you think? How old is Dave?
61, I think.
He looks older than 61 to me.
Well, he's been well cooked in that tanning bed.
Yeah.
That
I'm
doesn't
wondering,
help.
did you think he looked older than his age in those photos, Mike?
No,
Or just
I didn't.
Okay.
He does look
I think he looks pretty good, frankly. I think he has great makeup, great hair, good plastic surgeon. I think that he does a pretty good job of keeping himself looking pretty much the same. He doesn't look that much different. He looks skinnier. Yeah, he looks
like he lost a lot of weight to me.
Yeah,
he does.
Too.
He looks like he was never fat, but he looks like his face looks a little more hollow than it looked to me when I remember the way I remember looking at him.
He's looking more and more like that guy that was My Favorite Martian.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
I'm a little surprised he hasn't gone the Grant Cardone route of the hormones, the testosterone, because Matt Miscavige was on that big kick of working out and getting, having big arms for such a little person. And I'm a little surprised because he's clearly not doing the TRT. He's clearly not weight training. You can tell he's gotten skinny and not necessarily in a healthy way. I mean, at least when I look at the photos, that's how it looks.
What is HGH? What does that fall into as a
human
supplement?
Human growth.
I know what it is, but what does it fall into as a supplement?
It's not a supplement, it's a hormone.
Okay, so he was taking that a lot. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's a steroid. Like that's a steroid,
Okay.
That's what they call. Yeah. Okay, here's a question. Escaping the cultiverse, Mike, were you not exposed to true info while in OSA when you were involved in the Jerry Armstrong lawsuits?
Well, oddly, I was not involved in the Jerry Armstrong lawsuits. I had just gotten into OSA at that point, and I went to Portugal to sue the Portuguese government. But I was certainly exposed to a lot of the lies of Hubbard when I was the LRH Personal Public Relations Officer International and was trying to put together the Hubbard biography. And but at that time, my perspective on things was if Hubbard said it, it was true. And the fact that we couldn't document it just meant that we were lousy researchers and hadn't gone to the right place to find the evidence that would support the claims that Hubbard made. And that's the mindset that all Scientologists have. They don't think that Hubbard ever told a lie. And if he said he was, marooned in a boat escaping from Java, sailing across the sea to Australia, attacked by people with submachine guns, they believe it. And they go, yeah, someone's covered it up. That's why there's no evidence. And that's how Scientologists rationalize, ignore, and have horrendous cognitive dissonance over the facts about L. Ron Hubbard. And as the L. Ron Hubbard Personal Public Relations Officer, I was the biggest one. I had to be. That was my job.
Wow. You know, I
Incredible.
have to say one thing is we used to do these videos around L. Ron Hubbard's. I want to say it was around his birthday when we would do like the old timer videos.
Yes.
So for March 13th, we'd do these videos where we interviewed people that worked with L. Ron Hubbard or were around at St. Hill and this kind of stuff. And a lot of times, I guess it's PPRO, the personal, what's it stand for, Mike?
LRH, Personal Public Relations Officer.
Okay, good. So somebody from that office would a lot of times come to these shoots because every once in a while, these old timers, they'd get off in a jag and they'd start telling us about a story or something that happened with LRH that was super, super not PC. And sometimes the person would have left some BTs just got in my microphone. Sorry. Anyway, sometimes that person will have left to go to the bathroom or take a call or something like this. And this person would be telling us, and we'd be videoing it. And this person would be telling us this story that was super, super inappropriate. And then the person from the office would walk in and go, whoa, 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 whoa. This is not what we're here to talk about. They would literally just stop them right dead in the tracks. Like, stop telling this story. What about the story that we asked you about? And so every once in a while, we'd have to get a talking to, like, hey guys, we're not here to find out about these random things. We're here to get the specific thing that we're talking about. But Don Breeding, you know who Don Breeding was?
Yeah.
He was one of the guys that was around with L. Ron Hubbard that helped L. Ron Hubbard make the e-meter. And this dude had all kinds of crazy stories about L. Ron Hubbard when they were ripping off Volney Matheson's idea on how to make an e-meter and how to make a Scientology version of it. And this guy, Don Breeding, was the guy who helped Hubbard do that. And anyway, I just thought it was very funny that these old folks had all kinds of cool stories, and Scientology did not want them to tell them.
Right.
Nice. Robbie says, Mike, today is Anzac Day. Everyone is on holidays watching SPTV.
Go Anzac.
Woot woot. Cindy Trenkle, first-time poster, been an SP follower since the first Aftermath episode. You all are awesome. Keep up
had
the
that
good
one already.
fight. We did?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Tarkina says, remember, if you DoorDash dinner to the hotel, make sure to change the address from your home address. Have sent food to husband when traveling. I've literally never done DoorDash ever in my life. I've never.
Neither have I.
I don't even have the app.
Neither do I.
I
will have to go find some dinner after this. That's for sure. Okay. Fairy Spun Fibers. Mark or Aaron, did you ever get the video and photos of Les the Squirrel with Mike Bobblehead? I sent it about 2 weeks ago, I think. That sounds awfully familiar.
I did. It's where there was some nuts on the ground next to the bobblehead. Just so you guys know, I do almost see all the emails that are sent to me. I just can't answer them all because I get like 150 a day. So if I just answered the emails, that's all I'd be doing. Because I like to, when I answer an email, I like to write, something. I don't just go, thanks. But we do see them, and Claire does see them and saves them. And when we do, when I get back to Colorado, we'll do the bobbleheads and the shoops thing. We'll start that up. We're going to just do that once a month now, just because we weren't doing anything else except for bobblehead picks and shoops.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do SP files and all that other good stuff.
Well, okay, guys, it's almost time for the next giveaway, but hold on. Mark, what are you drinking? Donna Rose wants to know.
I'm drinking water, just lime. It's severed lime.
So I used to, when these large aluminum water cans started hitting the market, I used to think, what a waste of materials to put water in an aluminum can. And then someone pointed out to me, it's much easier and efficient to recycle aluminum than it is to do plastic.
That's exactly correct.
That actually makes sense. That's
why they sell at Jack Johnson concerts.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Nice.
Canned
there you
water.
go.
Only.
Nice. Joe Pa says, thanks for exposing the nightmare that is Scientology. Just when you think it couldn't get any more heartbreaking, along comes Nora and her story. Yeah. Nora's relaunching her channel. We did a live stream last night to she's already got 4,000 subscribers. I totally forgot. So all she got to do is get her 4,000 watch hours. And I thought it was 4,000 watch hours in a month. It's 4,000 watch hours in a year.
Yeah, we when we did that thing with Amy, she got it during the video. She got the 4,000.
All right, guys. So look, we have, I don't know how to hide this comment. Hold on. There it is. Hide comment. It is time for the last giveaway.
And this is the crocheted Bobblehead Xenu outfit?
Yes, it's the Xenu outfit for a Mike Rinder bobblehead. It's not going to fit any other bobblehead. It only fits the Mike Rinder bobblehead. It's been tailored to fit him exactly.
Okay. So we're going for the countdown. 5.
Burn up the live chat, you guys. Burn it up.
Yeah, you got to give them a little bit of heads up, Mike, because they got to get to their computer. They got to turn the vacuum off, get over there, get to their keyboard.
Put the baby in the crib.
Yeah, put the baby down. Turn off the TV that's playing in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's good. Now they're there.
Okay, now it's good.
Now start the countdown.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Click and
outfit. Boosh.
Julie
W gets it. Email Claire at blownforgood.com, and you will get the Xenu outfit for your Mike Rinder bobblehead.
Nice. Well, in those 5 seconds, we got 1,200 comments, so that's pretty
nice. Good. Yeah, we're doing good. You want to?
That's a solid 2 hours. I got to do chapter breaks for all these questions.
And my voice is running out.
Yeah, and I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You guys can bail. I'll just roll this thing. I'll just drive this thing into the rocks by myself.
Do you want to keep? Do you want to keep?
I'll do all 60 of these comments. I'll do them all.
Okay.
I'm a trooper. I'll burn.
Right. Okay,
I will go.
Don't add any new ones.
What do you mean?
Don't add any new stars. Just do the ones that are there.
Oh, are you going to bail or are you going to be here? Or you want me to just read them? I'll read them.
I gotta go.
Go, Aaron.
You go, Aaron. Right. You were our rock star today.
Yeah, you've done 2 already.
Yeah.
Buenas noches.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Aaron. Thank you.
Oh, wait a second.
Okay.
Are you sure?
The show's not over. We're still here. Don't end anything, Aaron. I have control now. Watch this.
Okay,
I'll just kick him right out. Just be like, poof, there you go. You're done. Yeah, he was like trying to figure out how to do it. I was like, here, I'll do it. You're done. Claire knows Thetan Fu. Yeah, Claire does know Thetan Fu. There's no stopping her. She'll be fine. Claire will be fine. Claire's a big girl. Made it further into history of man in spite of the ice cream headache it causes. Clams are people too. Seriously, what the balls was he on? Yeah, that clams thing is definitely like, whoa. Yeah.
The entirety of history of man from the first sentence is, whoa. This is a cold-blooded factual account of your last 76 trillion years.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Lisa Lee, it killed me waiting for this all day. Thank you, guys. Hubba, hubba. Okay, we know what that's all about. CG Paul SLP, you guys are so funny. I've laughed so hard tonight. Makes for a great evening after a hard day at work. Courtney, thank you, Courtney.
That's
we
great.
Appreciate that.
That's great.
We had a hard day at work too.
Yeah,
yeah, we had a hard day today too, man. Jay Hughes, question: what's the mood in DM's office tonight?
Shit.
Yeah, it's not a good year to be in DM's circle. Yeah, that's not a I can remember what it was like when we were around him, and not half of the nonsense that was happening today was happening then, and it wasn't fun to be around him then. I can't imagine. Like he's one of those guys that anything that he finds out about could send him on a tirade. Any one thing could set him off into a world of crazy. And I mean, they probably said if Leah is in the court today, then someone's getting fired, like that kind of thing. Like that's why they did everything they did. They had a process server. They had the report, everybody who had to do whatever they did. And then it still failed. Yeah, that was not going to be good. Chico, Mike, how do I send you my info? And my name is Charlie from Big Tussle, Oklahoma. Nickname is pronounced AA Chucko. You can go to your blog, right, Mike?
No, but this is he won. So he needs to send the email to Claire.
Oh, yeah, the guy that won. Yeah, send that Claire at blownforgood.com. Just say you won. You can even do a screenshot of this, what we're doing here right now. And yeah, and she'll send you whatever she's supposed to send you. And Claire, I'm trying to think.
I think that was the signed book, right?
Yeah, wish I had maybe taken some notes or something. I might have to go back in the video and figure out who won what, because Claire's not going to watch the video. So I'll figure it out. We'll get you your thing. Just email Claire and tell her what you won, and then she'll send it to you. John Satowski, the three of you could dress up for Halloween as Xenu, Xena, and Zima. I don't know who Zima is, but I do know Xenu and Xena. But I'm not going drag, so Aaron or you are going to have to take that one. Penny Novoto, thank you for the super chat or super sticker, whatever they call that. Sarah, thank you for the super sticker. Brenda, thank you for the super sticker. Chaya Fabulosis, thank you for the sticker. I'm going to rip through these. Oh, Brenda Solier, thank you for the super sticker. We appreciate it. Oh, here's another one. Amanda Johnson. History of man has destroyed my frontal lobe. Clams are people too. We are clams. Oh my God. Did we tell people to go and read that?
No, but
we talked about it enough.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
People went and read it.
I talked about it on my blog. We've talked about it on this thing. People ask me what's the craziest thing in Scientology? I always answer history of man.
Yeah, it will burn your brain cells.
Yep.
Lily, thank you for the super chat, Lily. Appreciate it. Or super sticker. I always mix them up. Here's another one from Lily. Mike, I have a tee that states, all I see is your lips moving, but all I hear is blah, blah, blah. Great shirt to wear when Squirrel Squad comes running. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Lily. That's funny. Peggy says, thanks for doing this. Thanks for watching, Peggy, and thanks for sending us a comment there. Shannon Stam says, is Scientology small enough that you personally know the OSA guys watching this? Are y'all cracking them up even a little? Yes. We do know them individually. We do know who they are. And we used to actually call them out by name every once in a while. We'd be like, hey, Gavino, or hey, Gloria, or hey, whoever.
Ray.
But they're getting up there. They're getting up in years, these OSA folks. So we want them to get out. We don't want them to be there doing all this nonsense. It's also, we really do think that there are things that they would laugh at that we talk about in here. It would be impossible for them not to at least crack a smile or even chuckle a little. And if they're by themselves, they're probably laughing out loud.
Yep.
Because they know all the stuff we talk about is 100% true, especially the stuff about Dave. They know what we talk about with Dave. We are super accurate because we spent years with him, and the OSA guys really don't spend that much time with him personally. So whenever they see him, he's usually mad. They'd have no other reason to be seeing him. Hubby tells me knows more about COS than TC after having to secondhand listen to all the streams. Love this part of my day. Keep up the good work, all. Thank you, Casey. We appreciate it. Yeah, you guys are there are a lot of people in here who are pretty knowledgeable at this point. Heart-shaped Isle says, how many empty seats in court? SPT people will turn up if they think they can get in. Oh, you could definitely get in. When I went, I'd say you could fit another 15, 20 people in there when I went. It's really not that crowded. And I think people think you need a pass or you need a ticket or you need some kind of reservation. You really don't. You can just go to the courthouse and go through security, go to the 9th floor and walk in with everybody else. There's no nothing. You don't even have to sign you don't even have to sign in. You just have to go through, it's like going through TSA pre-check, really. It's pretty simple. Bob Van Wee. Thank you. Super sticker. Carla M. Forbes. Who provided the reports in the trial? COS? JD? John Doe's? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the reports that they have are reports that the Jane Does themselves had copies of, because when you
Exactly.
write a report and you send it to everybody, you have to do that work when you write the report. You don't just send the report and send it in. If there's 18 people that are copied on the report, then you have to print out 18 copies of your report and send each one to each person. And so, yeah, it's very likely that the Jane Does still had copies of those. And because there's so many copies and so many people CC'd, it's almost, I would say, it's implausible that Scientology didn't get one of their copies, because the Jane Doe is the one, and the other 18 people were other people that might have been involved in the report. And 18 might be low. It could be 20 people that are CC'd on those reports. And all 20 of those people get the reports, and they get scanned, and it's in their data files. There's no way they don't have these reports in their files. Yes, John Satowski again. World Chase tag teams have some of the best parkour athletes in the world. This seems so unbelievable. Was it you who was saying this, or was it Aaron? I don't even believe it. It sounds like crazy.
I've seen it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I learned a lot about worldview in Afghanistan. It's amazing how arrogant we are in our own. Yeah, that's true. You do see that when you travel abroad. You do get a distinct impression that Americans are clueless. You do. We have a bad reputation in other countries of just being like, yeah, just being crazy and think we're all that. And these people are speaking multiple languages, and they know all these different, they travel all over. And we, some of us like me, we don't even know English that well, much less another language. Got me a new name and a new photo. Hashtag Spokane Reps. SPTV Tattoo Warrior. No COS Barb. Oh, she's got the photo in her thing too. Oh my goodness. That's amazing, Barb. I truly, that kind of, I got that. I saw that picture while we were at work, and I stopped everybody and I showed it. I was like, you guys got to see this.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Mike, it's Anzo Day. Lest we forget, hooked on the show. Fantastic content, everyone. Love a bobblehead, but don't think you send them to Australia.
Yeah, we do.
We do. It's just very expensive with shipping. It's one of those places where the post office and FedEx and UPS have all gotten together and say, it's going to be expensive.
It's going to cost $50 to mail something to Australia.
Yeah, it's crazy. Here we go. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Travis Bowman, thank you, says, will Scientology allow Grant and Gary Cardone to do those Crimenon courses from prison? I don't think so, actually. They're not going to get to do them. Michelle Wilson, thank you. Super sticker. Appreciate it. Another super sticker from, there it is. Jennifer Bissonette. Michelle Carpenter, mind blown for good. Yeah, this is definitely a mind blower. Suzanne, how exactly did Hubbard get the inspiration to come up with the word WOG to mean ex-Scientologist? Can't imagine just made it up from nothing. I think we already did that one, and Aaron just didn't do it. Is it possible that DM and TC are a couple and the women they are tied to are simply their beards? I don't think so. I don't think that that's a thing. Sandy B, is there a Scientology orphanage?
No.
No, there's not now. There used to be a place where the kids of Sea Org members went, and also Scientologists. It was called the Ranch School. It was kind of like an orphanage, but their parents paid them to go there, or they sent them there to deal with their kids. I'm squirreling you now, Mark. I want a book. Okay. I'm squirreling you now, Mark. I want a book. Okay. Good for you, Andy. Thank you. I think Andy does have a book. Excuse me. I use handle due to my family being difficult. Oh, that's a good one. Yes, we understand.
Yep.
LRH wrote a book called Enemy Within. Original Star Trek has an episode of the same name. Did one steal the idea from the other? I'm not sure. Is that one of the fiction stories that he wrote called The Enemy Within?
I don't know. I've not heard of that before.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that either. Andy, yeah, I don't know, Andy. It could very possibly. I think most of the fiction that Hubbard wrote, though, he wrote way before Star Trek
in the
came
30s.
out.
and
Yeah,
40s.
Almost all of that Pulp Fiction, Buckskin Brigades, Old Doc Methuselah, Fear, all that kind of stuff, Final Blackout. He wrote all that when he was doing his Pulp Fiction stuff in the 20s and the 30s, when that's how he made a living. Liz Turner, my dear SP sis Mary Ann passed on Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Liz. Much too young. She adored you guys and Claire, missing watching with her.
Oh, how sad.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, Liz. That is sad. I'm glad we could bring her a little bit of enjoyment in when she was able to watch. Juliana Bittencourt says, must see Marilyn's new crochet creation, INC2 BTs. I've seen this. Claire.
Yeah, we saw her.
Claire sent me a picture of this, and it's like, I think it's the catcher thing, right?
I don't know what it is, but it's got like a bunch of little things.
I don't know how she does it.
I
don't understand how. I just don't understand how you can make structure and do all these things with yarn. I don't know. It's like, I'm kind of fascinated by it. When COS comes out with a new version of book with the original way LRH wanted it, doesn't that mean that they had been giving members false tech? This is a great question, Roadrunner. David Miscavige has this idea that he is scrubbing through everything that L. Ron Hubbard ever did and making it pure. And at least that's the way he sells it. That's the story. That's his shore story. That's how he sells the idea that he's doing this. But the thing is every time he scrubs through this, he kind of tweaks it just a little bit in the direction that he wants it to get tweaked. And that's what he's been doing, I want to say, since the late 80s. Right? Since the 80s, he's been doing this. And almost everything that David Miscavige has released since the 80s, some things he's released multiple times, and he just calls it something different. So you might have a lecture series on cassette, and then you might have a lecture series on CDs, and the CD lecture set is actually part of the lectures that you already had that were called one thing, and they might be part of a whole nother lecture series that was called something totally different. And now they're together, they're a new lecture series that's called a whole other thing. And they just come up with these marketing names like the Route to Infinity course. And they have all these names for them. Hubbard never called them any of these things. They've named them a marketing thing. Right. And yeah, he's been doing this for years. It's kind of
same with the books.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with the books.
So many versions of the books that are now the fully on source version of the same book that has been being sold that Hubbard was referring to and reading from in lectures, and suddenly Hubbard's version of the book's no good anymore. We now have to have a new one.
Yeah, that's the best example, is that Hubbard would sometimes give a lecture and he would read from one of his own books, or he'd at least say, oh, in this chapter, we're going to go through this. And so you're like, so Hubbard didn't even know that his own books that he was reading from were not what Hubbard intended. It's the weirdest argument. But anyway, yes, Miscavige has been doing this for 30 years and none of the Scientologists are catching on yet. So we're trying to help them out and give them a little tips to how this thing's working. Catherine S., if Thetans exist outside of time, did anyone ever ask why people always have past lives and not also future lives? That is a great question, Catherine S. And
no, nobody ever asked that.
I'm pretty sure no one's asking these. You're not really, Scientology is not an ask questions sort of group. It's a here's the answers kind of group.
Other than sec checks.
Yeah, unless they want to know what you've been up to, then there's all kinds of questions. But those questions are for you, not that you get to ask them. Oh, exactly. You can never. That's another thing about this arbitration and ComEvs and all that. When you do one of these comp committees of evidence, which they're now calling arbitration, if you're the interested party, you ain't asking any questions. You get asked and you get told, and you shut up when they're not talking. That's how when they're talking, you don't say anything. And the only time you're talking is when they're interrogating you or asking you things that they want to know the answers to.
Yep.
I don't know if you were in it with Mike, but that process, I think it was I did a video with Aaron, but that process is unfair when you're in Scientology. It's the most biased kangaroo court you're ever going to be part of. I can't imagine how it would get fairer if you had left and sued them. How is that going to get better?
And by policy have no rights.
Yeah, it's not going to get fairer. It's only going to get worse. It's so ridiculous that they're getting away with this arbitration nonsense. It is literally ridiculous. Donna Atkins Gilbert, when ads for Top Gun popped up on my Facebook feed, I always commented, where is Shelley Miscavige, my tiny, joyful SPX? Yeah, that's a great thing to do. And for all you guys out there, if you're getting a Top Gun ad or a Scientology ad or a Grant Cardone ad when you watch these videos, they're paying us to do these. So, you know, it is what it is. Bailey Bay. Who gets to audit DM? Are those recorded and kept? Nope.
Nobody.
They ain't. And no one's auditing him anymore. He got audited in 1993. And when he broke his leg, the girl that was responsible for the auditing of the RTC people, when he broke his leg, she knew she was in the hot seat. She skedaddled right out of that place. She blew. I don't think anybody's audited him since. Caitlin Pratt, know anything about the org in New Jersey? Any stories? I don't know anything about.
There's no org in New Jersey.
Well, isn't that where the first Bayhead? Isn't that where one of the first?
There's a house. Yes, there's a house there.
Yeah.
Preserved, because that's where Hubbard scribbled Dianetics.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's nothing else in New Jersey.
Really?
No.
You know
there used to be a mission in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That's where Ron Miscavige got into Scientology. I don't know if it's still there, though.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any New Jersey stories. I do know that Bayhead, New Jersey, which is kind of, let's say it's one of the birthplaces of Dianetics, right?
It is the birthplace. It's considered to be the birthplace of Dianetics.
Okay. It's on like one of those like 50th worst cities in the place to be. It's in the top 10 last time I looked. It's not the nicest of areas. Ron Klotzer. Can either of you guys use a 66-year-old disabled retired attorney communications major to help you with any of your projects? You know, I don't need any of that myself, but if you want to volunteer your skills or your services, it's possible that we might be able to use you just as a volunteer for the Aftermath Foundation. You can go to the aftermathfoundation.org/volunteers, or just go to the aftermathfoundation.org and click on the volunteers tab, and you can sign up there. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Dania Lentz, it's Dania. That's what
you got it right. You got it right.
Exactly what I just said. I'm so good at names. Lori plays, to the well-organized mind is a Dumbledore quote. To the well-organized mind. Well, thank you for that, you Potter aficionado. Jopa, thanks for exposing the nightmare that is Scientology. Just when you think it couldn't get any more heartbreaking, along comes Nora and her story. Yeah, we showed that one. But you know what? I did want to say, whenever you have to have a rule when you talk about, there's a few rules about Scientology. Never try to make sense. And the more you learn, the worse it gets. Those are your two things that will always.
Stable datums.
Those are the stable datums in learning about Scientology. It's always worse than you think. Always. Kale Green, SPTV to host a conference for psychiatry near an org. That would be amazing. We could do so many things with all of the different stuff that we're doing. Joined late and watching Mike on 1.2 Veg. You need those blue EDs so you all much love to. Yeah, see, these are ones that Aaron didn't unstar. Church of Scientology, Anonymous owns. Yes, we showed that one as well. Thank you, GLD is me. What was LRH's reasoning behind fair game and knowledge reports? Well, those two things happened separately, as far as I know.
Very separately.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, this is really...
What was the logic behind fair game? It began because he was upset that there were people who were stealing Scientology and making money out of it. That he called squirrels. That was the original start of Fair Game. The Fair Game policy letter was about that. There is actually an issue where he lists the names of these people who he claims had stolen Scientology materials, were squirreling them, and therefore were now deemed fair game. And in that particular issue, he says that anybody seen them can use R245 on them. Literally.
Yeah.
Then the policy got written.
Which is kind of colloquial, like Scientology, to mean use a pew-pew. Yeah, shoot them with a pew-pew. And jokingly, kind of like you're allowed to do that, but also kind of saying you're allowed to do that. So it's kind of, that's a little harsh. That's a little crazy.
Right. Knowledge reports came ethics reports started in the 60s around the same time as Fair Game. There was a lot of stuff about ethics. Technically speaking, knowledge reports was written in, I don't know, the late 70s or something.
Yeah, I think it was like 79, 78, something like that.
Something like that. And that lays out the sort of theory of internal, rat out your co-Scientologists and why that is so important. And it was to create a culture of people who report on other people within the organization so that everybody thinks they're being watched at all times, which they are.
Yep. Okay, good. I think we answered that. Thanks, Franny. Thank you for that. Okay, now this came up before. That's the only reason I'm going to show it. It said, regarding NOI, I don't understand how the claim to be Muslims and anti-Semitic, Muhammad and the Arabs in general are Semitic people, just like Jewish, were the first Muslims. Yeah, so NOI specifically is sort of, I want to say it's like radicalized a faction, right, Mike?
Yeah, it's
they're
a
kind
squirrel group.
Yeah, they're not real. The Nation of Islam are not like a pure version of that. We covered that earlier in the video, but they're maybe Semitic is the wrong term because that kind of indicates a certain type of people, but they are hateful towards Jewish people. Let's just say that.
Well, that by definition is anti-Semitic.
I understand, but I'm just saying the person there, we're kind of doing a little like sea lawyer on the wording here.
Right.
So yeah, we covered that earlier. How many anti-Scientology books are there and which ones have you read? Long live SPTV. Well,
there's a lot.
There's a lot now. Yeah. There's probably a list somewhere, but if you just type in Scientology on Amazon, you're probably going to get about, I want to say 15, 20 books these days that are out there. And only maybe 3 or 4 of those are going to be Scientology actual official books. Even Mike's book has been #1 in the Scientology section on Amazon for I think since it came out, it's been the #1 Scientology book on Amazon. Scientology haven't had the #1 Scientology book on Amazon for 15 years, which they hate. And they're having their members buy Kindles and Audible versions. If you look, the versions of their Dianetics that are the most highest on the top list is, I think usually it's the Dianetics Audible version, which they're having members buy, even though they probably already have heard it and read it and done everything. And it's not even L. Ron Hubbard reading it. It's like a professional voice. His name is Lloyd Scher is the voice talent who did it. And
it's not even L. Ron Hubbard text.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Thank you, Shauna. Calico 26. If Mike showed up at court with Leah, Cohen would lose his mind. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we don't. I mean, I'm not going to speak for Mike, but the reason I'm not going, I I went to the last one just because I happened to be in Los Angeles when it happened, doing something completely separate. But I don't want to mess anything up. And also, we want everyone's attention to be on Danny Masterson. We don't want to draw attention to us. We're not the ones on trial. He is. And so we don't want to make it into a circus or a sideshow or anything. But the people that are attending, I think, are the people that should be attending. So I think whatever happens, it's going to happen. We're trying to do our best to make it happen the way we, so that justice is served. BH, sorry if already addressed, I'm late. How are Scientologists allowed to be so close to SPs in court? Yeah, that is also a very weird thing, that you can be sitting right, like if they run into us at Ralph's or like Safeway, they run for the hills, but it's okay for them to sit next to us in court.
Yep.
It is a weird thing. There's no good answer for that, B. Again, don't try to make sense of it. They break the rules when they need to break the rules. Robert King, it's funny how Tom Cruise thinks others are glib and he's such an expert, yet he's so glib about Scientology, the thing he's so passionate about. You know what, Robert?
That's such a great point.
You just hit the nail right on the head. And I think you might even have sunk that nail with one hit, like a one-hit sinker, because that's exactly right. Tom Cruise is yelling at Matt Lauer that he's glib about psychiatry. Guess who's glib about Scientology? Tom Cruise. Mind blown. Thank you, Robert. That is a very good comment. I think I'm even going to steal that and use that. Veronica Bombria, when CUS loses their tax exemption, will they have to make reparation to the taxpayers? I hope so. I hope they got to pay everybody back for all the nonsense. I don't think that would actually happen like that, but it could be one of those things where
well, it depends under what circumstances they had their tax exemption revoked. And if it was because they had been defrauding the IRS, then the IRS can then go back and assess back taxes.
Yeah.
Based on the fraud. And that could be monster amounts.
Yeah. When Scientology got tax exemption from the IRS, they had $1 billion bill in back taxes.
According to David Miscavige.
According to David Miscavige, they already owed $1 billion in taxes. So imagine if they lost it, if they went back in time and said, you got to pay all, that's a lot. That could be the end of it right there. And also Scientology got their panties in a twist when there was a court case where a woman was awarded, was it a woman, 30 million? How much was that? Or that was Larry Wallersheim?
No, that was Julie Christopherson.
Julie Christopherson. She got $30 million in punitive damages awarded to her by a court. And they went crazy because they knew that would set a precedent if this was allowed to go through. And so that's the reason why they're not suing a lot of people. They're just very aggressive when they get in the mix or someone comes after them. They're not suing people because they don't want people to get anything from them in discovery and other stuff, which is what they would open themselves up to. But this Danny Masterson trial could be a pivotal turning point in people that have been victimized or people that have been victims of anything Scientology or Scientologist related. People will be coming out of the woodwork with like, hey, I got something to tell you. And that's what Scientology does not want. So that's why this is so important. We're in the last dregs the comments here, guys, and then we're going to wrap this up. What is a clay table? I saw it mentioned when researching Scientology, but don't really understand what it meant. I'll answer that, Mike, since your voice is about to be taken offline. When you study Scientology, Hubbard believed that there were three barriers to study: the misunderstood word, the lack of the physical thing, or the lack of what he called the mass, and a skipped gradient. So getting too far ahead of where you're learning about something, you're skipping too far along before you learn about certain things. And the way that he thought would be a great way to handle the lack of mass of a subject that you're studying is when you study something in Scientology, once you read it, you then make little clay people and little clay figures and you label them and you kind of demonstrate that concept with clay. So there's a lot in every single Scientology course room or classroom in the world. There is what's called a clay table, and you go over there and you make these little people, and usually people that like Sea Org members that are used to doing like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clay demos, you get really good. You can make like a production line for making people and making signs, and you're not really allowed to write it out in the clay. You have to make the clay show it. So you really have to do it. It's sort of like an art project. And also, by the way, I've very rarely seen any good clay demos. Every once in a while, you'll see a clay demo like that's somebody set up and you'd be like, oh no, this person should be doing this as a job. Like, that's amazing.
Right. This is claymation material.
Yes. Like literally it would look like somebody could shoot a movie of their clay demo. My clay demos, it looked like Sanford and Son. My clay demos, it looked like a junkyard. It looked like somebody just chopped the clay and.
But the other thing, Mark, was when the person before you finished their clay demo, they just like pile everything into a pile. So you go pick the little men out of their pile and the little houses and the little cars and just stick them back down.
I was just going to say that if you were lucky, you could recycle somebody else's clay demo and use all their people and use all their stuff. And even if they had some stuff you weren't thinking of, you're like, oh, I could use that car for something. I got to just tell one funny story though. When at Gold, before they renovated where Qual was, the clay table was kind of outside on like a patio. And a lot of times, sometimes if you were having to do a clay demo, it could take you several days to do a clay demo. You only go to study for 2.5 hours. And sometimes you'd have to do like clay demo, like your job. And if your job had a lot of parts to it, then you'd have to do a really, really big clay demo. And you'd have to put a sign on it saying save. You'd have to basically, in the middle of it, you'd put like just a scrap piece of paper and you just write save and your name or something or the date. And so people knew like, oh, this guy's in the middle of this clay demo. Anyway, one time I had to do a clay demo. It took me 2 days to do this clay demo. And I had just like about an hour, maybe a half hour, an hour left to finish it. And so I put a save sign on it. When I came back the next day, now mind you, we're in the California desert. And in the summer, it could get like 100. It could be 120 out there. Anyway, the next day I came to do my clay demo and every single thing had melted to the table. So it literally was just a pool of clay and my sign was actually in the pool. And it was like, oh, thanks for saving my clay demo, guys. It was all gone. It was just like giant waste of time. Anyway, I think we explained that. I'd rock an STV Borat Mankini. Thank you, Joe Virus. I would not like to see that. Thank you.
Me either.
Yeah, that's not something that we need to be looking at. SPDV. I'm going to put that in the store just to see if Joe Virus buys that. Okay. If we sell the Mankini, that's SPTV Mankini, and somebody named Joe doesn't buy one, we're going to hunt you down. Chaya Fabulous says, Fabulosis. I think that's like a Harry Potter thing. Fabulosis. I worked out today and drank a ton to stay hydrated. When I went to the bathroom, I looked in the bowl and I can now say I attested to clear. Wow. That was a lot. And that was the last comment. I might have to star another one just to get that out of my mind. Here we go. Ooh, thank you, Randy. You saved me with your super sticker. Randy Pearson.
Wow.
Thank you for that, Randy. I appreciate it. I just wanted to see. There's just a few other ones that I wish I could be an SP. It would be proud SP. I think we got them, guys. I think we got all of them. We powered through and we did it. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. If you haven't subscribed to Mike's channel, get over there and subscribe to Mike's channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, we are 123 subscribers away from hitting 29,000. Whenever we tick over another 1,000 on the Blood for Good channel, we randomly pick somebody in the comments to get a book, a Blown for Good book signed by myself and my wife. So if you haven't subscribed, get on over to the Blown for Good channel. If you're watching on Mike's channel, if you're still watching on Aaron's channel, go over to the Blown for Good channel and subscribe, please. It helps out the YouTube algorithm to put us in front of other people, put us on the recommended pages so other people can watch these videos. And yeah, thanks a lot. I don't know if I don't think we're going to do a video tomorrow because we're all out of town. And because Tuesdays is kind of like the Claire and Marc show. And because Claire's getting ready to do her thing, I don't know. Aaron will probably do some episodes no matter what. And we might join him. 7 lives. Yeah, but we might join him after he gets out of the courthouse. Yeah, maybe. We might do this every day. I don't know, but we'll let Aaron decide how he wants to deal with that. Yeah. Otherwise, thank you everybody who showed up. I'm trying to see if we have some kind of outro to play. We don't really have any outro to play on here because to be honest, this is Aaron's channel. We're kind of running his thing. He can't do any videos while we're on here doing this, I don't think. Right. Well, hopefully he's getting some food. Yeah, hopefully he went to go eat. Anyway, thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you for 3,600 people still watching. 3,600. Yeah, we've got a lot of people in here. We blew away the records, guys. Thank you for everyone who joined tonight. Thank you everybody who commented. And thank you for everybody who sent in messages. I think I did get to all of them. If I missed yours, I'm really sorry. I thought I starred them, and I even went and read a ton of ones that weren't super chats. So yes, thank you very much, guys. We will see you next time. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to go like, and